Good afternoon, dorks. It's Unchowder. It's time for more visual novel story time. Hooray. How's it going? How's it going, everyone? My hair's all over the place today. I went on a walk. It's too hot out. Hooray, hooray, hooray. And then here's the cat. The cat is also being a total jerk right now. So of course she was just settled on my desk a second ago, but then I opened my big ol' mouth and now she's here. We're trying to figure her out. We're experimenting with some food changes, but I don't know what to do for her. She's just an ornery little jerk. How are you? How's your Saturday? Yes. I can recreate the emote right here. Meow. We are playing Heart of the Woods. Hooray. We're a little ways into it. Things are progressing. I mean, our main character died, so I guess that's progress. I am good. Yay, end of a long day. That's good. A long day of adventuring. Hopefully it wasn't work or anything, since it's a Saturday and all. I have been chilling as hard as I can. Oh my goodness. I haven't been very active, but I got out. I went out for a walk today. That's something, right? I'm just doing shizzle. Yeah, not work. Well, that's good. Every day that's not work is good, right? Generally speaking. I can switch over my audio to the game audio. Slightly repetitive menu music. Today's episode is brought to you by ice. Everywhere ice. And also by you clicking on the buttons and helping me out and sticking with me and hanging out and all that good stuff. That's what's sponsoring me right now. That's what's keeping this boat going. That's not really an ice metaphor, is it? Anyway, did you have a good morning? Yeah, I did. I slept in, went for a walk, took a quick shower, and here we are. That's like basically all that's happened today. And then I'll try to get some more crafting done tonight. But yeah, we're just gonna do the thing, right? I think it works. Yeah, there we go. Audio's going, video's going, you can see me, you can see the thing. I think we're all good. We're gonna load our save here. We're in chapter 3. Oh. We're in the middle of we're transitioning perspectives again. So that's where we stopped. We stopped at a perspective change. Our main character, Maddie, died, was tricked by Evelyn, I think is what we've been told is going on, and froze to death in a snowstorm. And Tara, I don't think, knows it yet, so we're probably gonna get Tara finding out that her best friend just died. So that's what's gonna be happening. So now we're Tara's perspective, I think. We've hopped back and forth a couple times. We're in Evelyn's private drawing room. Tara is kneeling in front of the back door, wiggling a paperclip around in the lock. It looks like she's never done this before.
Tara, let's go. This is a bad idea.
I'm not leaving till I get in here. She knows something about Maddie. I know she does.
I look around the room, and I've been in here plenty of times, but never into the connecting study. Evelyn hasn't so much as opened the door to it with me in the room. I'm starting to regret telling Tara about it, though. If we don't get out of here...
I'm not disagreeing, but this isn't going to help. We need to...
Shit!
She hisses and pulls her hand away. Her fingers are brilliant red, and she holds them in her mouth. Well,
Are you
good job.
okay?
I think it burned me. What the hell?
Oh, interesting.
Screw this. Let's just break the door down.
She takes a step back from it. It looks like she's ready to kick it. I put my hand on her shoulder. I really can't think of a worse idea right now. She'll just end up hurting herself. So we're Morgan right now, I guess.
Listen to me. We have to get out of here. Trust me.
She doesn't move to kick the door, but she also doesn't seem to have heard what I just said.
If she hurt Mads, I'll kill her.
Yeah, she hurt Mads. Tara vibrates in my hands. In this state, there's no telling what she'll do or she'd do if I weren't here to stop her. She'd probably be lighting a fire in the corner of the room or something by now. I can't let her get hurt anymore, though. I can't let anyone else get hurt.
Listen, Tara. I've tried to force it open before. I think she has some kind of ward on it.
Ah, of course.
No matter what we do, I don't think we're getting in there.
I'm not sure what Tara hopes to find in there anyway. Even if it is locked, I doubt Evelyn is arrogant enough to leave any real clues lying around in here.
There has to be some way in. There has to. We'll get at that office and we'll find out where she took Mads. I don't care how much weird magic bullshit Evelyn's got. We're gonna rescue Mads.
She still hasn't given up hope that Maddie's alive. I wish I could share her optimism. All I can feel is guilt. All of this was my fault. If I'd never asked them to come here, no one else would have been hurt.
Tara, we need to go. Whatever burned you probably alerted Evelyn. She could be on her way right now.
No, we can't give up now. Mads needs us.
Tara, we need to consider the possibility that...
Tara wheels towards me and grits her teeth. I can't tell if any of the anger she's feeling now is for me. If it is, I can't blame her. She hasn't been willing to face the truth of the situation, but she has to face it eventually.
Then what, Morgan? That she just killed my friend? Do you seriously think she'd do that to Mads just for looking around the woods?
Yes, I do.
My voice is colder than I mean for it to be. I instantly wish I could take it back, but she still doesn't understand. I get that she doesn't want to face the idea of Maddie being dead. But she can't ignore the danger we're in. The look in Tara's eyes, however, says this isn't helping right now.
I'm sorry. You're right. We don't know for sure yet. But we can talk about this later. Right now, we really need to...
Behind me, the door to the room slowly creaks open. My heart stops. I can't move. I can't turn around. I already know what I'm going to see.
Good morning, Morgan.
A very upset,
Tara.
evil person. Instantly, I dash between Evelyn and Tara. Nothing good can come from these two being in the same room together. I have to keep them apart. Evelyn just laughs. Just the sound of her voice makes me want to run, but I can't.
You both seem so on edge.
I wonder why.
I'm sorry you don't seem to find my drawing room as... Maybe it's time for some redecorating. How would you feel about a more earthy palette?
She crosses the room to the window and it leisurely picks up one of the curtains, pretending to examine it. I can feel Tara behind me seething and getting angrier by the second.
No opinions? You come into here uninvited, and you'd think you could at least pretend to be polite.
Now she glares at me. I can feel the temperature in the room drop instantly. I used to think it was something that was just in my head. I've changed my mind about it recently. It really is getting colder.
You never could, though, could you? You never could play along. Always so obstinate. You have to fight every step of the way. Just like when you were young. Always cutting your own hair short. Because nothing was ever good enough for you. The clothes I bought, the food I made, and you had to control just one thing.
I mean... yeah. A rush of heat and cold crawl on the nape of my neck. A rush of shame. Evelyn's mouth twists slightly, just enough to smile, and she breathes a freezing laugh of pride.
When was it you realized you couldn't even hold scissors anymore? And you ran around town begging someone to cut your hair. No wonder no one else ever wanted to be around you. I imagine that's why you had to look all the way overseas to make a friend.
She shoots a glance at Tara, baring her fangs in a grin. She just straight up has fangs. She's not even trying to hide what she is.
And well, look what happened to them.
That's too much for Tara. She's been quiet this whole time, maybe from the same fear that gripped me, but now she steps forward. I hold out my arm to prevent her from getting too close.
What the hell did you do with Maddie?
Evelyn turns her back around to the window, barely acknowledging Tara at all, and stares out absent-mindedly.
You know, the forest is a very dangerous place. Every year, it seemed, there would be a new death. Someone would go missing in the winter. We wouldn't find them until the spring thaw.
She turns around. The look on her face is so placid and empty. I've never seen anyone so completely devoid of empathy.
That's why they're off limits now. That's why we have the curfew.
Uh-huh.
There hasn't been a death like that in almost 10 years. Something we are very proud of.
She turns back to Tara again and takes a step forward. Somehow the room seems to get even colder as she does.
That is, until your friend. It's honestly frustrating that she would ruin our record so selfishly. I wonder if she had any idea of the headache she was going to cause me.
She shakes her head. She's smiling again.
Enough of the bullshit. Mads wouldn't go out there and get herself lost. She wouldn't. She's way too cautious for that. You did something to her and you're gonna tell me, or I swear to God.
Evelyn looks up. Her smile is gone and her eyes are as sharp as her fangs. Tara goes silent the moment those eyes are on her. I'm shivering now. I pull my arms close to my body. The air seems to crackle with ice. I try to take a step backwards, but Tara won't budge. I'm not sure if it's out of anger or fear.
I've been so patient with you, Morgan. Endlessly patient. With you and your friends. A mother's patience never wears thin. But then, I never was much of a mother, was I?
No, don't!
Tara is raised into the air, bound by an invisible force. A look of fear spreads across her face. I reach out my hand, but it's too late. Behind me, Tara rises slowly into the air. Uh-oh.
What? Morgan, help. What's happening?
Her eyes are wide with terror. Tears well up in my eyes. I have to do something.
Please, don't! You don't have to!
Evelyn's mouth shifts slightly to one side. She looks so disinterested. She doesn't even take pleasure in it. She barely notices us and what we feel.
How many years did I give you the carrot, Morgan? How many? Eventually, you'll have to learn.
And just like that, Tara shoots backwards and slams into the wall so hard the whole room shakes.
Tara!
She crumples to the ground in a heap. She's not moving. Evelyn doesn't move as I run to Tara and lean down to look at her. She's awake, still twitching.
Tara, don't move! Just stay still! You'll be okay!
Well then, please make sure you put everything back where you found it. The maids have enough work as it is.
My heart starts to beat faster. The heat on the nape of my neck spreads down my back. But instead of the hollow pit in my stomach that's supposed to follow, I feel my shoulders stiffen. My breathing gets slower, more controlled. The edges of my vision start going dark. I feel myself biting down on my lip. I look down and see my fists are clenched so tightly my knuckles have gone white. For the first time, I don't feel any fear, just hatred. With that, she turns away. The room instantly returns to its normal temperature, but I'm still freezing. Her heels click on the hardwood and gets quieter as she leaves. She stops at the door.
Have a lovely day, girls.
Evelyn disappears and the door slams behind her. I still can't move. It isn't until Tara lets out a loud groan that I snap back to my senses.
Are you okay? Did she break anything?
I don't think so.
Can you stand?
Well, that was intense. Hello, how am I? I'm good. Our characters have been better. We're reading a visual novel. How are you? Welcome in. We are... I don't know, we're a little ways in. Things have happened. She makes it halfway before stumbling. I grab her and throw her arm over my shoulder. She winces and lets out a tiny whimper.
Let's get back to the house. I've got a first aid kit there.
As long as I get to lay down, we can go wherever you want.
Of course. You can use my bed. Come on.
She takes a few steppy steps before leaning against me. It's a start. Doing pretty good. Currently on day 2 of vacation and feels so weird because I don't take vacation. I know that feeling. I know that feeling. It is nice though. It is nice to like have to think about what you want to do and not have just your whole day like prescribed out for you like when you're not on vacation.
I think you're gonna have to take the lead on this one.
Tara does her best to help me get her up the stairs, but whether it's due to her injury or shock, she's barely able to stay standing while leaning on me. Climbing the staircase is difficult, but at the moment there isn't really anywhere else I can take her. No, it's the cat. When I open the door to my room, Geladura is in the center of the bed cleaning her paws contemplatively. She doesn't look up at us. Also currently watching the new Blade Runner. I still need to see that. The new one looked really good. Everyone said it was good.
Come on, let's get you on the bed.
I half expect Tara to give me some kind of knowing look as she stumbles over to the bed, but she doesn't. She just nods weakly. Tara collapses face first over the sides of the bed. Geladura doesn't even budge as it shakes with the weight. She acts like she doesn't even notice.
Geladora, move please.
No response. She just continues slowly raking her tongue over her paws. Ever since Tara and Maddie got here, she's been particularly obstinate. I wish I knew why. It's hard not to be frustrated with her, especially with everything that's happened today, but I do my best to just gently force her to move by climbing onto the bed next to Tara. Geladura finally looks at me, paw held indignantly in the air.
There's plenty of room on the floor.
Tara shoots back up, yelping and almost knocking me over. She doesn't seem to notice, and she just stares down at Geladura with wide eyes.
Did your cat just talk?
She told you it would. Geladura cranes her neck around to look at Tara, and then speaks again.
No.
Her voice is languid and drips out of her mouth like syrup. Tara's eyes dart back from the cat to me, to the cat again, hoping for some kind of concrete response.
Yeah, I told you.
Her face lights up with newfound energy. The lines of pain that had creased it disappear in an instant.
I knew it! I knew I could trust you! Sure, it was weird that you didn't actually talk, but I get it. Shy around strangers. That's valid, and also, big mood. But I knew it. I knew you weren't lying.
I smile. After everything we've been through together, a part of me feels warm when she says that. My chest glows with a warmth I've only felt around Tara. After everything, it should be obvious that she believes me. More weird temperature stuff with her. But Tara's sincerity catches me by surprise every time. Geladura doesn't seem to find it as endearing. She rises methodically and then paws toward the foot of the bed. I'm worried about her. Every month she's gotten more and more cat-like, but this was the first time that she didn't speak at all. And we're so close to the full moon now. She's not going to get much stronger than this. Interesting. Hello, hello. How's it going? Talking cat. I can't help but wonder how much time she has left.
Geladora, how are you feeling?
She looks at me with her bright blue eyes, alive with magic and intelligence.
I feel hungry.
So a cat.
Did you bring me food, Morgan? I don't think you did.
She stares at me. The expression on her cat face is unreadable.
I didn't. I'm sorry, Geladora. It's been a difficult morning.
Morgan looks to Tara.
You don't have anything, do you?
I think I have a melted chocolate bar in my pocket, but can magical talking cats eat chocolate?
Nope. Geladora regards Tara silently, her white tail swishing slowly across the bed sheets. Then, without saying anything or giving any other indication of her intentions, she turns and hops onto the windowsill. What if Geladora was the skinwalker this whole time? I mean, something's up with her, right? Something about the full moon.
Geladora, wait.
She turns her head back to me and gazes into my eyes. I feel like I'm being measured. I always feel that way around her.
No. You wait.
She turns away and sways her tail lazily.
I will be back.
And with that, she leaps from the window to the branches of the nearby tree. Why is the window open? It is the middle of winter, yes. Why is her window open? She slips through them like a rush of white water until she is gone from sight. Tara and I sit there quietly for a few minutes before she finally speaks.
Your cat is weird.
Yeah, a little.
Tara smiles, Morgan smiles back, and the two sit together. Geladura is gone for hours. I need to talk to her. Things have changed so much today. I think she'll know what to do. I hope she will. In the meantime, I tend to Tara. She protests at first, saying she's fine. I don't doubt she thinks that, but I want to confirm that for myself. Eventually, I'm able to convince her to let me have a look. Her back is essentially one giant bruise, but that's it. It doesn't look like anything was broken, at least. It's a relief, but maybe we were just lucky. Maybe next time Evelyn will do worse. There's no telling what she's capable of. And I can't let anyone else get hurt.
So what's the deal with Gelato?
I open my mouth to speak, but before I can, Tara cuts me off.
I mean, I know she can talk. Please don't say she can talk. You're gonna say she can talk, and I'm seriously asking you don't. I want to know what her deal is. Promise me you won't say she can talk.
I promise I won't say she can talk.
Tara nods.
Her name is Geladura.
Tara stares at me for a second before we both laugh.
Okay. Her name is Geldorado. But, like, why can she talk? I've met a lot of weird cats, but none of them could actually talk.
Well, it's because she's not really a cat.
Of course.
Tara tries her best to sound like she's completely understood the situation now, but it's obvious she hasn't. I take a deep breath.
Geladura isn't a cat. She's a fairy.
Oh.
I don't know a lot more than that. I know Evelyn cursed her to be in that form. Her memories are hazy, though, and it's only been getting worse. She wasn't always like this. She's been around as long as I can remember. She only started talking to me when I was 12, but even back then, she's forgetting she was ever a fairy. I'm worried that soon she's not going to be anything other than a house cat.
The horror. Tara nods, seemingly taking everything in. And then she's quiet for a moment, thinking about it.
She doesn't really seem that helpful.
I nod my head sadly.
She used to be. I'd have never known anything about what Evelyn was without her.
I bite my lip.
For a long time, she was my only friend. She was the only one I could really trust. I still believe in her. I still believe she can help.
Maybe Geladura is a werecat. She turns from a cat to a different cat on the full moon. Just turns into like a red cat. I look away. Even if I'm telling her my story, there's still so much I'm not ready to share about growing up here. I don't know if I'll ever be ready.
I know it sounds like I was just a lonely little kid looking for a friend. But I promise she has the knowledge we need in there somewhere.
Tara starts to lean toward me while letting out a grunt of pain as she moves. I go to push her back down into the bed, but before I can do that, her arm wraps around me. She gives me a gentle squeeze and I lean into her in response. I want to hug her too, but I know that wouldn't be doing her back any favors. So I sit there and let her hold me. Try to take refuge in it. Try to remember that I'm not alone.
You don't have to make excuses. I believe you. And I'm sorry you had to grow up like that. It's their loss that they didn't stick around to see how cool you turned out to be.
He pulls back and grins at me, that same goofy grin I've seen hundreds of times before. But it's so much better in person than it was on the screen. And it's exactly what I need right now. Tara and I wait out the day watching dumb videos on the internet, trying to take our minds off things if only for a moment. They take longer to buffer than to watch. It's dark by the time Geladura slips back through the window. She's quiet, but even if I hadn't seen her, I'd know she was still there. I'd still know she was there. Something about the air in the room changes when she enters it, the same as Evelyn. Geladura thinks they were close once. She doesn't know how, but I believe her.
Hello, Geladura.
Meowdy.
Morgan stops slightly at Tara's greeting.
How's your hunting?
She looks at me, and if a cat could ever give a self-satisfied grin, I swear she would right now. Her voice seems to luxuriate in it.
It was good, Morgan. Much better than your hunt this morning.
She jumps into my lap and rubs her head against my hand.
How does she know about that?
I know much about Evelyn.
Her voice is deep as stone and rumbles in her throat with a purr. She stops rubbing on my hand a moment and looks up at me.
And Evelyn knows everything about you. What did you think would happen, cursed child?
I hate when she calls me that. I spent years dealing with it looming over me. The last thing I want is her rubbing it in. Even more, I hate that she's right. I should have known this would happen. Should have kept Tara from going to the office. Yeah, okay. But I never imagined Evelyn was that strong, and Tara's paying the price for my failure.
Evelyn is as good a hunter as any cat. She'll never let her prized vessel out of her sight. She's watching you even now, Morgan. And when the moon is full, she will finally strike.
And then, still in my lap, she curls up and closes her eyes. I'm not going to get any more out of her tonight. Tara doesn't say anything for a while. She looks contemplative even. But when she does speak, she asks the question I knew she would.
Why'd she call you cursed?
I wish I could lie. Maybe the first time I've ever wanted to lie to someone other than Evelyn. But I can't. Tara deserves to know what she's involved in.
Because I am.
Tara just stares at me, half in shock. She quietly waits for me to continue. I hesitate a moment before continuing regardless.
Evelyn is not my real mother. My real mother died before I was born. And whatever Evelyn is, she took her body. She's done it to our family for years. Jeladora and I pieced it together from town records and scraps of my mother's diary. Every couple decades, she has to change hosts. And
I look into Tara's eyes. This is the first time I've ever told all this to anyone.
And you're next.
Tara says the words I don't want to. I nod.
Evelyn's going to make her move on the night of the full moon. That's what Jeladora says.
I close my eyes. I know she's right, but I don't want to admit it, even to myself. The full moon is so close. And then I feel a hand gripped tight on my own. I open my eyes and I see Tara staring back into them.
Wow, that's a lot. And, it's really hard for me to know what to say here, but thank you for telling me. We're gonna stop Evelyn, and if it has to be before the moon is full for whatever reason, then we'll do that and we'll save Mads. We'll stop her, I swear.
She's smiling so big and so broad, and she sounds so damn confident I want to believe her. More than anything, I hope she's right. For the first time in my life, I want to trust someone. And now we're Maddie again. Cool. Now we're a ghost. So Maddie was our original perspective character, but now she's dead and a ghost and hanging out with her ghost girlfriend. Because she was murdered by Evelyn, basically. Starting to get used to it, just a little bit. I've done my best to keep a regular human schedule as much as I can, going to bed at night, waking up in the morning. Even if they're unnecessary, they help me feel a little bit more like myself. Like not quite everything has changed. Hunger or not, I'd kill for a cheeseburger or something, though. They're just friends, though. Geez. Totally aren't in love? Sure. Yeah, okay. Give it 5 minutes. I don't know what I would do without Abigail. She's never far from my side, and she's my anchor through all of this. Endlessly supportive and positive. I know that she views my circumstances, well, differently than I do. That she enjoys having me here, but I can't fault her for that. I still can't fathom the depth of loneliness she's felt, with nothing but a silent tree spirit for company. They're roommates, yes. Tombmates. Tombmates is good. I like tombmates. They are really good friends. That's why they're buried together and hold hands in the afterlife together. Exactly. It's cheaper to go in on one tomb together, so they just split it. That's all it is. The days that we've spent together have been pleasant enough, but I still don't want to accept this fate. I can't. I rise from my spot on the stone floor. Sunlight pours through the stained glass window of the church, and has been for some time now. There hasn't been much snow since the storm that I was caught in. All of my time has been spent here in the church or exploring the woods with Abigail. I try to see the charm in some of the places she's taken me, but they all feel the same. Trees and rocks and snow in varying combinations. The forest may be huge, but it's stifling in how repetitive it all feels. I keep hoping that Tara and Morgan might come by, so I could at least see them, even if they can't see me. So far, they haven't. I look around the church, expecting to see Abigail waiting like usual, but she's nowhere to be found. I can hear her, though, from just outside the church, singing. I move through the doors to watch. I was just up there. Just a few feet away, she stands with her back to the church and me, her arms outstretched but not fully. She sways softly as she sings. And God, how she sings. Her voice has a lilting cadence. Not even the wind dares interrupt or quiet her. It's unreasonably beautiful. The kind of voice that if you heard it on the radio, you'd have to pull out your phone and see who you're listening to. And to think I get my own private concert like this. She faces the sky, and I don't need to be able to see her face to visualize the smile that I can hear in her voice. The song she's singing is wordless, but still beautiful. I wonder if it's something she came up with herself. I imagine her spending years playing with the melody, or maybe she's just making it up as she goes along. I noticed then that I'm not the only one watching. A small flock of half a dozen or so birds crowd around her feet, watching in rapt attention. They hop around, occasionally cheeping to join in. She waves her hand and they flutter about, never perching on her, but never leaving either. Imagine being tone deaf for 200 plus years and having no one to tell you. Everyone thinks the forest is haunted because you're tone deaf screeching, but you just thought you were making beautiful sounds. From the trees, just barely peeking out, a young deer observes as well. It isn't close enough for her to touch, but close enough for me to count the spots on its belly. It's just like something out of a cartoon where she's a fairy tale princess who's friends with the wildlife. It'd be me. I wonder if it's because of her in particular, or if the animals don't feel threatened just because we're spirits, not flesh and blood. All too soon it's over. Her voice fades away without wobbling, and the birds instantly disperse. The deer bounds back into the woods, invisible. She turns to face me.
Good morning, Madison.
I'm blushing, and I don't know why.
Good morning. That was amazing.
Thank you. I hope I didn't wake or disturb you.
Nah, not at all. Besides, if I'd known, I'd have gotten up early just to hear more.
Aw, you're flattering me.
No way, not at all. I mean it. You have a beautiful voice.
Now she's blushing too.
Thank you.
How did you learn to do that without scaring away the animals?
It wasn't really a matter of learning. It just happened naturally, over time. I sing for myself, first and foremost. I think eventually, they realized that I wasn't a threat.
It seems like they were enjoying the show too.
It's quite the compliment if even the birds like my song.
There was a deer too. You might not have seen him though. He was kinda hiding in the bushes.
Oh, was he? I'll have to introduce you next time. He's quite friendly too.
Oh, that's Robert.
Really? You know him?
Most likely. I suppose it could have been a new deer. I'd have to see him to know for sure.
Nowadays, there are these things called petting zoos, where you can pay money to walk around and pet tame animals, like deer and sheep and pigs. I've never heard of them just making friends with people, though.
That sounds marvelous. Have you ever been to one?
Not since I was a lot younger. They're mostly for kids.
I want a POV chapter for Geladura, and her internal monologue is filthy. Every other word out of her mouth is motherfucker. I would really like that.
Adults in the modern world sound awfully boring in that case.
True. Abigail walks to my side, standing close like she always does. I wonder if it's intentional. Together we face the forest. She touches my arm so lightly I wonder if that's intentional too.
If you're feeling up for it, there's someplace I'd like to show you, here in the forest. It's one of my favorite spots.
Of course, lead on. I'd love to see anything that you think is special.
Besides, it's not like I have anywhere else to be. I refrain from saying that out loud. I am genuinely interested in what she wants to show me. I like spending time with Abigail. Fucking bitch kids. Stupid fake daughter, can't wait to fucking kill her. Jeez. That's Evelyn's internal monologue. Oh, did I read that? I don't think I read that. But I hope that she'll be willing to answer some more of my questions now too. Having fun together is nice, but it just feels like a distraction from the matter at hand. Speaking of hands, Abigail takes mine ever so gently.
Let's go then.
Tra-la-la! Just two ghosts traipsing through the woods. We take off at a brisk pace, but the distance falls away faster than normal. I'm borne along by her boundless enthusiasm, and surely more than a little magic. Trees fly by at a blur, impossibly fast. It's like being on the train again. Like snowflakes, they melt into my vision faster than I really notice. The speed is some gift of the forest, I imagine, a consolation for what it's done to me. Our footsteps are formless against the snow, or walking in the air. It's the same as when I first met Abigail. That feels like an eternity ago. For at least a couple hours more, I try to push those thoughts away so I can enjoy whatever it is she wants to show me. I want to enjoy this for my own sake. For her sake too. I have trouble of thinking of anything other than her. The gentleness of her grip, the light and joyful way she moves across the ground, the certainty with which she pulls me forward. Every so often she turns around to make sure I'm still there, though I'm sure she's very aware of our interlocked fingers. I know that I am. Guess I can add that to the ever-growing list of feelings to sort through. The forest shifts even faster than it did a few days ago, even when we went to visit the spirit. It changes too fast for me to keep track of any reference points. If I try to focus on one spot for too long, I get a little dizzy. So I stop focusing on that and just go with the flow. Eventually, Abigail slows her pace, and the passing of the forest reverts to a normal rate as well. At first glance, it seems like any other part we visited. But when I look closer, I start to notice small differences. Some trees are devoid of snow with piles of it beneath them as if someone brushed them clean. Others are decorated with strange paint-like streaks of color, mostly blue but some are white. On other trees, icicles dangle from the branches and give off a strange glow. When I approach to examine one, the glow dims. Abigail pays it no mind. This must not be strange to her either. I hurry to catch up, though she's only gotten a few steps away.
We're almost there. It's just up ahead.
Through the trees, I can already see where she's taking me. Splashes of brilliant pink peek out just ahead, mostly obscured by the barren brown trees. I don't even have time to be curious about what they are before we arrive. Ooh, that's pretty. A splendid grove, yes, of colorful trees spreads out before us, surrounding a small pond that must be enchanted. The leaves that hang from the trees are salmon pink, flecked with flickering lights. Lavender bushes crowd their bases, sparkling with dew or magic. White snow covers the ground all the way up to the shores of the pond. The trees themselves are devoid of it, much like the forest spirit's home. I wonder if the two are related somehow. Even more remarkable, though, is that this pond itself is also unfrozen. Its glassy surface is smooth, save for the occasional ripple that spreads across. It's small enough that I can see clear across to the other side. It makes this place feel even more secret and hidden. You could wander the forest for years and never stumble across it. I move slowly towards the water. This place deserves calmness.
Oh, Abigail. It's beautiful.
Appropriate meme in stream chat? Okay. These bitches gay, yes. They're all gay, that's the point. The water laps at my feet, though it remains undisturbed. Like a vampire, I have no reflection, a fact that I pointedly tried to ignore. Good for them.
What are we?
Where are we? Oh, she's talking.
This is one of my favorite places. Isn't it lovely? As for what makes it special...
It's pink. Her eyes twinkle conspiratorially.
Fairies.
There's a beat of silence. I feel like I should be surprised at her answer, but I'm not. After everything I've seen, fairies are downright mundane. I remember her mentioning them before, too. Or like the grove. This is a really cool grove. I look around wondering if I've missed them hiding somewhere, but I don't see anything. Abigail laughs.
Just as decorators. They aren't around right now. They much prefer the nighttime. They're far more active in the moonlight. You can still see traces of them, though.
As an example, she cups one of the icicle-like baubles that hang from the trees. Inside, a faint light beats like a heart, dim enough to be invisible in the daytime.
I'm sure they're around, watching. But I've only met them once myself. It may be years before you do.
Do you think the fact that Abigail's hair matches the tree is a coincidence? I was about to say, when she smiled conspiratorially, I thought it was gonna be like, this is mine! I did this! Moonlight, you say? Yeah. The moon is obviously very important to everything that's going on here. They don't have a queen called Evelyn, do they? Yeah, they might. Though it seems like... Because Geladura is a fairy, right? Geladura is a fairy trapped in a cat, and Evelyn did that. So either Evelyn is like an evil fairy who doesn't like other fairies, or maybe she's like some other non-fairy thing that doesn't like fairies, or she's like the fairy queen and punishes all fairies, or something. Wonder how they feel about greatswords. Probably pro. There it is again. The promise of eternity spent like this. I bite my lip.
I think that's okay with me. I've had enough magic for 1 week.
Yes, understandable.
She walks back to the shore of the pond and sits down. I take a seat beside her.
Really though, thank you for bringing me here. It's nice.
I'm glad. I wanted to show you that not everything about it is bad. That unlife does have its own little moments of niceness.
Yeah. And? I look at her, but she's staring pointedly away toward the pond. Her cheeks redden a little bit.
Unlife is a good word for it.
Do you think so? I worried before you woke up that I would have forgotten how to speak or forgotten words. I talked to myself to keep in practice, waiting for a day when I would meet someone again. That's also why I sing, so that I don't forget how much I enjoy it, even if nobody listens.
The birds seem to like it.
I know that it's silly, but sometimes a bit of silliness can be what helps me keep going.
I don't think it's silly at all. Besides, if I could sing like you, then I'm sure I'd do it all the time too.
Well, we have all of eternity to practice.
I could teach you, if you'd like.
Plot twist, there are no fairies, only skinwalkers.
Oh, no, you don't know what you're getting into. I'm pretty sure I'm unteachable when it comes to singing. You'd have birds flying miles away instead of coming to listen.
She laughs.
Come now, I'm sure it can't be that bad. I knew nothing of singing when I first started. I simply practiced and practiced. Everything gets better with practice and time.
My singing voice has got to be the one exception.
My middle school choir teacher even told me that there was no way I would ever be a singer. It was one of the most traumatic days of my 12 short years back then.
In all of existence?
Out of everything.
In that case, I suppose I must hear it, just to know. You can't promise something like that and then not demonstrate.
No way. Not happening.
What if we sang a duet?
Definitely not.
Oh, you're no fun.
Now I regret saving you. She playfully swipes at my shoulder.
Are there any instruments that you do enjoy? Any that I've heard of, that is?
Piano. I've taken lessons since I was a little girl.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. I miss it.
I flexed my fingers, staring down at them, remembering the feeling of keys. Even before coming out here, it had been a while since I played. I don't think I ever consciously stopped. It just happened over time.
Most of the time, the only music I'd have the opportunity to listen to was during prayers, or the occasional traveling performer.
Could play piano and she can sing. If you can find a ghost piano, maybe.
Sometimes I'd convince Mr. Braun, who played the organ, to show me some of the pieces he'd learned in the city.
She says this with a shy smile, sharing some private joke with me.
Do you remember the names of any of the pieces? I wonder if I've heard of them.
Can kill a piano. It's a self-playing piano and you just break it. There you go. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. I'm back. Not enough to break a piano, you have to kill it. How do you kill a piano? You'll have to explain. You have to possess a piano and then kill it.
Oh yes, there was...
She bites her nail thinking about it.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
She squirms, wiggling around like she's hoping a memory will fall into place. Finally, she shakes her head.
Maybe not. It seems I've forgotten. Do you think there's a chance, though? Are you very familiar with songs from, well, my time?
Some of them, yeah. A lot of the most famous and respected composers come from those days. From this part of the world, too.
So we're in Europe-ish, right? Is that the implication there? Abigail sighs wistfully and looks off into the distance.
I'm glad to hear that. They must be magnificent to be remembered so many years later. How nice that must be, to leave behind a legacy, to be missed.
To be missed. The way she says it is wistful, a dreamy sigh, like something she longs for. I glance over, half expecting her to be crying, but her face is steady and calm. She catches me looking and smiles.
I'm sorry. I'm just feeling a little nostalgic.
You don't need to apologize. I like hearing what's on your mind.
I'm glad. It would be rather unfortunate if, after everything, we didn't get along.
That would be unfortunate. We both laugh at the idea.
I do have another question, though. A personal one. I know you said I can ask you anything, but...
I meant it. Please, go ahead.
Well, before, you said that you've never even tried to... go back. Escape. Whatever the right word for it would be. Why is that? Doesn't it bother you, being stuck like this?
Abigail scratches at the soft dirt beneath us. Of course, her fingers move impotently through it, changing nothing.
If you don't want to answer, that's okay.
I don't mind. I'm just thinking of what to say. So, I suppose that you've been thinking about it a lot, right? How to go back.
I nod.
Almost constantly. I don't know if it's possible or anything, but don't get me wrong, I'm beyond grateful that you saved me at all. But it feels like we're so close to being alive, but not. Everything's changed, but at the same time, it's like nothing has. I don't feel much different, but everything's different. I have a whole life out there. Or at least I did. I can't just forget about it. Or move on, or give up, or something.
I understand.
She's quiet, and I wonder if I went too far. If I asked something that I shouldn't have. In a lot of ways, it's one of the most intimate and personal questions I could possibly ask. We've been here for 200 years and you're still dead? What the hell, Abigail? Then she shifts around to face me better.
I didn't have much left once I moved on. My family and those I care about. I had no desire to return to them. And then time started to pass. At first the days felt slow, torturously slow. I did nothing but sit around and mope, never straying far from the forest spirit who had saved me. But then I started to explore more, to get to know the forest, find moments of happiness. I was still terribly lonely, of course. It has been, until you got here. But I can honestly say that I didn't hate it. I sang, I watched, I found my own joy where I could. Eventually, time left me behind. The people I had known grew old and died. I'm sure many forgot about me long before I forgot about them. At some point, there was nothing for me to want to go back to. The rest of the world outside this forest is just a maze that I don't know how to navigate.
Abigail has it perfect now, and you're going to ruin it. Yes.
Here in the forest, I know nearly all there is to know. There's no grief or loss or pain. There's just peace.
I mean, as far as cursed eternities as a spirit go, this is pretty good, right? This is about as good as it gets. Before I can respond, she stands up, brushing away imaginary dirt from her
Won't you
gown.
fill up for another walk through the woods? Perhaps this time I can show you where the wisest, most handsome-looking owl nests. It's been so long since I've said hello to him.
She offers me a hand. I take it and the obvious subjects change, and she helps me to my feet.
Sure. Let's go.
With a smile, she leads me back towards the trees. So many of the conversations that I have had with Abigail are painful reminders. Either of the years of solitude she's endured or what I can look forward to in my own future. Both make me very certain of one thing. I'm glad that she's here with me. And now we're Morgan again. Okay. She's had a lot of time to adjust. Yeah, it's a little less shocking to her, I would say. It's been days since Evelyn attacked Tara, since Geladura spoke to her. Days of fruitless searching for Maddie, and Tara is still trying to act like she's okay. She pores over every piece of local history we can find. She makes jokes, she tells stories. She pretends she isn't losing hope every day we don't find Maddie. She's lying. It's her body that tells the truth. She pulls me closer when she's under me. She stays in my arms for longer than she did before. I doubt she even notices she's doing it. But years spent hiding my emotions have made me pretty good at spotting it in someone else. Is she doing it for me, for herself, both? That's the only thing I still don't know.
Morgan?
I can hear Tara's voice calling from the kitchen. I smell smoke a second later. I'm out of the bedroom before I realize I'm moving. My mind fills up with a million possibilities. What if Evelyn's already here? What if the cabin's burning? What if she just doesn't know how to make popcorn?
I think I owe you a new pan.
Tara is fidgeting nervously. A cloud of black smoke billows from the pan on the stove. I can't even tell what was supposed to be in it. Whatever it was, it's charcoal now.
You guys don't have, like, a fire extinguisher in here, right?
Why would we have that? I let out a breath I was holding. I shouldn't have panicked like that. I'm just glad she's okay.
We don't need one. Let me see that.
Oof. I walk past her and grab the pan. Before she can say anything, I open the door and toss what was in the pan into the snow. I guess that works. They anticlimactically die in a fire, accidentally saving the day and ruining Evelyn's plan. Yeah, there you go. That's true. I guess if Morgan dies, then that kind of foils Evelyn, right? Not that that's a good ending. In a wooden house. It's true. It's cold out, it's fine. I run a rag under the tap and toss it to her.
Why don't you get the smoke off the wall before it stains? I'll take care of this.
One of the 3 endings. I'm still coming down from my adrenaline. I have to make a conscious effort to say it as gently as possible. I don't want her thinking I'm mad at her. She seems happy to be given something to do. She smiles and tries to salute, but with the wrong hand, and ends up slapping herself in the face with a wet rag. That sounds right. I swear she does stuff like that on purpose sometimes. While Tara scrambles to duty, I start washing out the charred remains still clinging to the pan. After a few moments, Tara shuffles nervously behind me.
You don't cook much, do you?
Does not cooking at all fall under not cooking much? Because if so, yeah.
Then why did you...
Her eyes flick towards the counter and I follow her gaze. There's a tray sitting there. It's a mess. A piece of clumsily sliced fruit, a cup of liquid, blackened toast.
You were making me breakfast.
Tara looks guilty.
Yeah, well, you know.
She looks down and starts fidgeting with her shirt.
I figure that since we're leaving the cabin, it'd be a waste to just leave it here. And I don't know, you've been really helpful and stuff. And I thought maybe I could pay you back a bit. But I just wasted the food anyway.
No. My mind reels. I can't utter a single sound. I don't really have any friends. The few people I'm on good terms with, I would never do something like this. Evelyn stopped preparing meals for me the instant I could make them for myself. And even when she did, they weren't much more than leftovers of what she made for herself.
It was a dumb idea. Sorry.
Aw, Tara and Morgan confirm their feelings for each other with a tearful kiss. Aw. My body moves on its own. My arms outstretch and wrap around her. Before I know it, I'm reaching up to her face and pressing my lips against hers. The minute I actually process what I'm doing, I pull away and drop my arms to my sides. We both stand there awkwardly for a moment before I'm able to speak.
Thank you.
You're thanking me for screwing up making breakfast?
Mm-hmm.
I'm thanking you for trying.
Oh, right. I guess that makes sense.
I doubt someone like her would understand why this means so much to me. She has good people in her life. Random acts of kindness must be commonplace for her. But for me, I've never been treated as anything but a tool. I spent years turning the idea in my head, thinking that I deserved it. It was easy enough to believe. So this moment means more to me than I could possibly say. Even if I actually knew how to talk to people, I couldn't do it. The best I can do is try to repay it in kind.
Maybe we could make something together? After all your videos have taught me, I'd be happy to teach you a few things in return.
Are you sure? I mean, I literally know nothing about cooking. All I do is slow you down.
That's how teaching works. She's protesting, but the smile on her face makes it clear how much she really wants to do this. Seeing that grin in person is way more radiant than seeing it through a screen.
That's okay. I'll take the lead, and we can go slow.
I take her hand again. She squeezes it and I squeeze back.
Now, let's start with teaching you how to use a stove without burning the house down.
That is number 1, yes.
That's probably a good one to know, yeah?
I grab some sausages from the fridge and toss them in the now clean pan before putting it back on the stove.
Okay, so you're going to want to have the heat a little lower than the absolute maximum for this one.
For most of them, yes.
I figured the higher it went, the faster it would cook.
Technically, you're right, but that's also how you burn things beyond recognition.
I moved behind her and put her hand on the pan handle, pressing against her back to move her hand side to side.
Keeping it in motion is a good way to make sure it cooks evenly.
Right, cool.
I take her through the basics. She handles instructions surprisingly well. It helps that she's eager to learn. After the sausage, we move to the toast. Then coffee. She's sloppy, but makes it work.
You're doing great. I'm impressed.
Well, doing it with you is a pretty effective motivator.
Very subtle.
When am I anything but?
We finish up with the eggs, then sit down to eat. She powers through her meal, finishing before I'm even halfway through.
Holy shit! That was so good!
Looks like you're a better cook than you thought.
Oh, please. That was like 25% me at most. But thank you. I definitely learned enough to surprise Mads when she gets back.
The mention of Maddie instantly sucks some of the joy from the room. Nice as this has been, I know it's only temporary shelter from the cloud still looming over our heads. Her smile doesn't falter at all, but I can see her eyes twitch slightly after she speaks. I wish I could think of something reassuring to say. I try just agreeing with her, but I know how hollow it would sound. But once again, she pushes it back inside. I know how that feels, although I have a much harder time smiling afterwards.
And the best part is that we don't have to wash any of the dishes since we're leaving after this.
We're washing the dishes.
Oh, come on!
She reluctantly drags herself over to the sink. I remain seated and continue eating. A few seconds later, Tara reappears casually.
Hey, quick question. It should be okay if we leave Maddie's stuff here, right? I'd hate for her to come back and be missing all her super important films.
It should be fine. With us out of the way, Evelyn won't have any reason to focus on the cabin anymore.
Hey, Morgan, can you come here for a sec?
I jog down the hallway and find her staring at a hefty black bag sitting in the hall.
What's that?
It's Mads' camera equipment. I was just thinking that maybe we should shoot a video before we leave.
Like, film an episode?
Not quite. More like a summary of what's happened, for reference. Kinda like a black box in a plane. That way there'll be a record. Something that could help anyone else who decides to look into this.
A dead drop.
She flinches at the term. It's probably a bit too morbid for her liking.
It's worth a shot. I can help you film it.
Are you sure? That's a professional quality camera. Even I don't know how half the shit it does works. That's Maddie's domain.
I'm sure I can figure something out. It can't be too hard to get the basics down.
I grab the bag and sling it over my shoulder, then grab the tripod with the other hand.
All right, let's get to work. Okay, so, wait, let me...
Hang on, I think I've got it.
No, that's just going to access the archive. We need to get the focus right for the main shoot.
Things aren't going well. Neither of us can figure out how to work the camera. My only contribution has been getting it on the tripod. Most of the terms Tara's using fly over my head. She claims that Maddie's the one who knows all about how to make it work, but even her limited understanding is worlds away from mine.
I'm sorry. I wish I could do more.
Don't sweat it, you're doing fine.
Lie.
Maddie never taught me much. She, makes the videos. I just do the talking.
Her voice is quiet. Maybe this was a bad idea. All it seems to do is making her miss Maddie even more. And I'm sure as hell not good enough to replace her. At least I finally managed to get the camera to the point where it's actually filming.
Oh shit, you got it!
She's humoring me. The picture isn't even close to being in focus, and I somehow managed to make the colors even more washed out than this place already is. It doesn't look like anything like her most recent videos.
I can do better. There are still settings I haven't tried.
Tara claps me on the back, a bit too hard. She's so obvious.
Don't worry about it. The stuff is confusing. Maybe the blur will make it look more mysterious or something.
Sure.
This is why found footage is always like really low quality, because the filmographer is always the first person to die. She leans against a tree in front of the camera. On her signal, I hit what I hope is record. I give her a slight nod and she's off.
Hello, everybody! Welcome to a very special, not quite an episode of Terranormal. We've had a lot of crazy shit go down in the past couple weeks, so Morgan and I are putting this together to make sure we don't miss anything. Who's Morgan, you ask? She's our inside woman, as they say. We wouldn't have found any of the stuff I'm about to tell you about if not for her, and she's been a hell of an assistant, too. Mads would be manning the camera right now, but, she's not here right now. It's complicated.
Her voice dips for a moment before launching back into her professional cheeriness.
So, where to begin? Well, I suppose I should start with a little story about a spirit, also known as the only time I've had fun in church.
She launches into her story without having to take a single moment to think about it. I feel like I'm watching her transform in front of me. Her uncertainty is gone. Her anxiety is gone. The melancholy she's had inside her since Maddie disappeared is gone. It's like she's glowing. I wish I could tell her how wonderful it is to see, but I know I'd never be able to say something like that.
Anyway, that's pretty much all we have right now. Hopefully Mads will be back soon.
I hear her voice shake for a fraction of a second. She corrects it instantly, but I know I heard it.
I'm not gonna lie, there's some bad shit out here. Maddie got caught up in it somehow, but it's nothing that's gonna last. Am I in danger too? Sure, but that's nothing new for me. You're talking to a girl who nearly got eaten by a bear because park rangers suck at their jobs. I'm just making this so we don't have as much to go over when we find her. The dry air out here is killer on my throat, so I could use the help.
She coughs loudly. I'm not sure if it's real or just for emphasis.
And Evelyn, if you find this, know that we're gonna make you pay for what you did.
Her voice breaks again. This time it's unmistakable. Maybe this was a bad idea. She takes a minute before she starts talking again. Her voice is shaky. Her face is a strange expression I've never seen before.
I'll do whatever I have to do, you know? If you're watching, I want you to know that.
It's the park ranger's fault you ran into a bear. Yes, absolutely. The park ranger's jobs are to make sure that bears don't ever find people ever, right? That's what they're there for.
Can you just give me my friend back? Can you just do that now?
Tears begin to flow down Tara's cheeks, and she begins to crumble as she continues speaking.
I'll do anything, I swear. I don't care if we don't find any more evidence. I don't need anything else from this trip. I just want Maddie back.
I can't just watch this anymore. I leave the camera and run to her side. I throw my arms around her and I feel her body sink into mine.
I'm sorry, Tara. I'm so sorry.
I wrap my arms tighter as I feel her legs give out. It's all I can do to keep her upright as she starts to sob into my shoulder. Unease settles into my chest. I've never had to do anything like this before. But I have to try. I have to do something. Oh dear. This is our first choice. This is our first choice in the entire game. Oh my god. Get over it or sad forever. That's what we're being told now. I know how this goes. Park ranger looks at you sadly. My job is protecting the park and, well, sometimes the bears don't have enough to eat. the ranger leaves. Exactly. I'm just keeping the balance of nature. Goodbye. She probably needs to mourn, right? That's what I'm leaning towards. Any thoughts? I don't know. I'm not going to do like a poll or anything, but... don't pick sad forever, so she should mourn. Yeah. Girl not processed anything. It's true. Everything that's happened has been my fault. There's probably nothing I can say that would make up for that. Why is... Geez, that's a really interesting first choice to make. Oh, I should have saved. That's what I should have done. This is Crusader Kingdoms 3. The bottom one fucks you up longer term. That's all I know. That's fair. I doubt there's quite that logic here, though. Maybe I shouldn't say anything. I just told her like this. Physical comfort is all I'm good at, after all. I'll take care of her. It's the least I can do. I lowered her down to the ground slowly. I don't even feel the snow on me.
Take your time. Getting it out will help.
This is all such bullshit. Why would she take Mads? She wasn't causing any trouble.
She grabs handfuls of my sweater where her hands rest against me. I don't stop her.
I could have helped her. I could have talked this out with her, but I didn't. And because of that, I
squeeze her tighter. There's nothing else I can do. No, it's the same game. You have a mental breakdown and die if you make too many wrong choices. There you go. I gave up on thinking of something to say. I'm better at saying nothing anyway.
I should have let her stay home. I should have listened to her when we were out here.
She pulls away from me and sits down in the snow. Then she smiles. It's all bitter. It's a bitter, broken smile. The kind of smile you can only form when you don't know what else to do.
I just keep ruining things, huh?
Tara, you aren't the reason the two of you came here. I was. This is on me.
My fault, clearly. And not the villain or anything. She has to know I'm right deep down. I don't want her to hate me, but I'd rather she hate me than hate herself. Oh no, Evelyn is a modded legacy character. No wonder she's in trouble. Her stats must be wild. She's maxed out everything. I mean, we don't have any idea how old she is, right? If she's just been hopping from body to body forever, she's just been leveling this whole time. Maddie's was the brains. That's why you don't take Shaggy out, you take Fred. I don't know if I'd say Shaggy's the brains. That's Thelma, right? At least 200 years though, right? At least 200 years. Yeah, that's true. Well, that's when, 200 years ago was when Abigail died. Or I guess we do know she was connected, don't we? Yeah, Abigail did talk about Evelyn. So yes, at least 200 years. Yeah, Velma's the brains. Velma's definitely the brains. Shaggy's the mascot. Not Scooby. Scooby's like there for moral support, and then Shaggy's the mascot. So I hold Tara. I hold her with as much tenderness as I can, and she breaks into heaving sobs on my shoulder. I feel her body rocking with loss and pain, and her hot tears fall and freeze on the ground below us. I let her feel the extent of her grief. It's a pain I can never understand, the pain of losing someone important to you. Meeting Tara, I've only just started to know what that bond feels like. But it can't compare to what she has with Maddie. Tara's wailing grows muffled as she buries her face in my chest and hugs tightly. Hesitantly, I stroke her hair in return. Time passes. Eventually, Tara grows quiet. She sniffles and shakes in my arms, but relaxes with each breath. I never found any words to say. We sit there together until finally Tara lifts herself from me, her face red and puffy. She gives me a weak smile and wipes her face. I start to pick up the camera as she cleans herself up. It seems like this might have helped after all. I'm worried that it seems like the good choice right now, because that means it's like gonna turn out to be the wrong choice later, right? Velma is Maddie and Tara is Daphne? Tara is Fred. Tara is Fred. Maddie is Velma. Morgan is Daphne. Yeah, there you go. I should probably just leave and head back with her, but one thought keeps burning in my head. I have to tell her.
Tara. I'm going to make sure you get Maddie back, no matter what.
She stares at me like I spoke in another language. Then she finally gives me a smile that doesn't have an ounce of sorrow in it.
I know. If anyone can, it's you.
Morgan is Shaggy, Geladura is Scooby. Okay, like I get that. Yeah, I like that. Morgan is Shaggy. I don't know. I think Morgan is Daphne. Daphne's Abigail. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I could see that. Do we have the right number of characters? I guess it's the same number of characters, right? I'm not sure what she means by that. I hope she's not thinking the same thing I am. She probably thinks I'm just talking big, like I'm some brave knight about to go kill a dragon. I wish that were true. But I'm thinking about the one way I know I can save her, the only way that I can. And that's to give Evelyn what she wants. Me. Yeah. But Tara is Shaggy. Fair. If anyone is a dumb, brilliant one, it's her. Also, if anyone is a stoner, it's also her. True. I was mostly just thinking that she's like the ringleader, right? She's the one that's gung-ho and like, come on, gang, get in the van. I think that's Tara energy. But I could also see her be Shaggy. We don't talk. I guess I didn't read that. I figured the wet pants would still make sitting still even harder for her than it already is, but she's completely still. It isn't until we stop in the village that she speaks.
I hope you don't think I'm mad at you for bringing us out here.
Not peppy enough to be Fred? I guess that's true. But who is in this story?
You aren't?
Nah, I know you just wanted to make something good happen for all of us. Things just didn't work out that way is all. Besides,
Her voice trails off into mumbles. After a moment, she takes a breath and restarts.
Coming here meant I got to meet you. I'm sure as hell not complaining about that.
I'm sure you've met plenty of fans in person.
Yeah, but you're not just a fan. Not to me. You're a lot more than that.
What are you saying?
She suddenly looks away from me. I think she's trying to hide the fact that she's blushing poorly.
I don't know, just I haven't ever really met anyone like you before is all.
For a moment, strange thoughts fill my head. I want her to say more than that. I don't know what I want it to be, just more. But I know better than to ask for that.
If it helps, I haven't met anyone like you before either.
Well, I could have told you that one. I am one of a kind, you know.
No argument there.
I'm having a hard time looking at her. I don't know why. This is a new feeling. I push it away and reach for the carriage door instead. There's a weird air in the carriage now.
Let's get inside. We still gotta figure out how much of your stuff we can fit in my closet.
I mean, I could just leave some of my clothes on the floor. That's what I do at home.
Not happening. I like being able to see my floor.
Can't blame a girl for trying.
I can't help laughing. She laughs too. She's going to be okay. I know she will. And I'm going to make sure she stays that way. And back to Maddie. Yeah, Morgan's to do something stupid. We have to keep Morgan from doing a stupid thing. By now I've all but given up trying to see Tara again, but I can't abandon the idea without at least trying to get through to her. She deserves to know that I'm okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Or at least as okay as I can be, given the circumstances. At first, Abigail was hesitant about interacting with other people. I don't blame her. After 2 centuries of solitude, talking to 3 complete strangers within the course of a few days would be a pretty jarring shift. Despite that, she understands how important this is to me. She also warned me that we can't venture too far into the village itself. The magic of the village only extends so far, and there's no telling what would happen to us if we went past it. The border of magic isn't clear-cut, so she maybe promised to stay close to her. Just in case. I really am lucky to have someone as accommodating as her with me. Even if we fail, it means a lot that she's willing to try. I try to fill her in on what to expect from Tara and Morgan's personalities, doing my best to be as charitable as I can when telling her about how likely Tara is to completely flip out when she sees a ghost. Once she's fully prepared, we make our way to the cabin. But they're already gone. It's empty. There's not a trace that anyone has been here for days. All of Tara's things are gone. That's an instant relief. It seems like a planned exit.
Did you find something, Madison?
I can't help flinching as Abigail floats to the wall next to me. Incorporeality is one of those things I haven't been able to get used to.
I think so. It seems like the two of them went back to the village.
I don't even entertain the idea that she went home early or anything like that. It's not in her nature.
Do you think so? That sounds like it would be dangerous. Why would they put themselves in danger like that?
I have no idea. Hopefully we can ask them ourselves.
Abigail starts to back away, looking down at the ground.
Madison, of course I'll do my best to help you, but I feel like it would be remiss of me if I didn't warn you to not get your hopes up. It took me years to be able to manifest myself. The chances of you being able to communicate with them so soon are low.
That's okay. I didn't have much hope to begin with.
I don't like being this dour about things, but I don't see how else I'm supposed to feel. She looks stricken by my words and I hastily try to gloss it over.
I mean, hey, you never know. If you can do it, maybe I can come along with you. The two of us together are bound to be able to accomplish more than we could on our own.
Together.
She looks down, grabbing handfuls of her gown. She agreed to come with me before, but it seems like she's having second thoughts.
What's wrong?
It's just that accompanying you would mean returning to Eisenfeld again. I haven't returned since, well...
Oh no, I never even thought to ask about that. I've tried to avoid talking about her death as much as possible. Strange as it sounds, it feels like it would be rude in a way, invasive. But I should at least have checked with her before suggesting we make our way there.
I'm sorry, Abigail. I didn't mean to...
To my surprise, she hurries back towards me and nearly bumps her head against mine as she closes the gap between us.
You don't have to apologize, Madison. I agreed to help you, and I'm going to honor that commitment. Besides, maybe it could be good for me. I can't avoid going back there forever.
You could.
And having you there will make the burden of memory much easier to bear.
Her conviction combined with her invasion of my personal space makes my face flush red, and for a moment it looks like she's worried she upset me. I give her the best smile I can manage. After years of making Tara normal, I'd hoped maybe a bit of Tara's charm and social skills would have rubbed off on me. They haven't.
If you say so. As long as you don't feel like I'm forcing you or anything.
Not at all. You've been nothing but kind to me, Madison. I want to repay that kindness.
If anything, I feel like I'm still indebted to her for saving my life, but I know she wouldn't see it that way. I've done my best to be polite, but I haven't exactly made any grand gestures of thanks to her.
Thank you, Abigail. Really.
What kind of grand gestures can you do as a ghost for another ghost?
Of course. Now then, shall we?
Lead the way.
Every time Tara and I visited Eisenfeld, we were stared at everywhere we went. Now seeing everyone walk by Abigail and me without so much as a glance is surreal. Abigail gazes at the buildings as we pass by, occasionally pointing out one she remembers from her time. Her voice is a strange mix of excitement and melancholy. I'm not sure if I should encourage her mood or try to comfort her. As we enter the town square, we start to encounter larger groups of people. Each time one passes close by, Abigail grabs onto my arm and moves closer to me. Is she scared of crowds, or is it something about the villagers themselves that has her shaking? I'm tempted to ask her, but I think better of it. For all I know, this fear could be connected to the way she died. My mind runs wild with possibilities. Maybe she was burned as a witch or cast out of the village. Grand gesture ideas. Haunt a piano until it dies. Haunt people to amuse your new tomb-mate. Find new ways to be spoopy together. Yes. Haunting a piano until it dies so that you could have a duet with your ghost girlfriend. It sounds really messed up and also wholesome. So I think that's the winner. This definitely isn't helping. I need to focus. Thankfully, it's not too long before we reach Morgan's house. I just hope they're there, or they're here, and more importantly, I hope we can reach them.
Are you ready, Abigail?
I'm ready. Let's go.
We phase through the wall and into the kitchen. And there they are. Tara and Morgan sharing breakfast, close enough to touch. I'd give nearly anything to be able to hug them right now. My feelings are a mixture of guilt and elation, and worry. But more than anything, I'm glad she's okay, both her and Morgan. I need to talk to Tara. There's so much I need to say and ask.
Tara! Can you hear me?
It's
Morgan,
worth a shot.
this is delicious. How the hell do you know how to make all this stuff?
Apparently she can't. She doesn't even look up in my direction.
Most of it I picked up from older folks in the village. The rest I pieced together from random cooking videos.
When all this is said and done, remind me to give those channels a shout out in an episode, because this rules.
I try waving my hands in front of their faces, hoping that maybe movement will convey what my voice clearly can't. Once again, no reaction. Morgan leans towards Tara, passing right through my hand.
Maybe you'll learn enough while you're here to make a few cooking videos yourself.
Are you asking because you actually think that'd be good, or do you just want to see another video where I almost burned my house down?
Morgan shrugs and gives Tara a small smirk. When Tara chuckles in response, I feel another surge of sadness. I know I shouldn't have expected this to work right away, but I'm still crestfallen. Having them this close hurts in a way I couldn't have imagined. All the time I spent feeling ignored while I was alive seems so trivial compared to this.
So what's the plan for today? Got anywhere in town we might be able to hit up for local lore?
Most of the official records of town history are sealed up in Evelyn's office, so those are off the table. But we might have some luck checking out older buildings around town. She's done a good job of cleaning up evidence of what Eisenfeld used to be, but maybe you'll notice something I didn't.
Sure, I mean, it's worth a shot.
Her voice barely contains a trace of the fire I'm used to. I have to hope that at least the remaining trace is a sign she'll regain the fire someday. At least she's not alone. Morgan reaches out and puts her hand on Tara's shoulder, squeezing gently. When she speaks, her words are soft and strained.
Are you going to be okay?
What do you mean?
After yesterday, if you need some time to rest, nobody's going to blame you.
Tara looks down at her feet. I can't read her expression, but the low volume of her voice tells me all I need to know. A quiet Tara is a worrying rarity.
I mean, I guess a little time off could help me, as long as we get right back to looking for Mads afterwards.
Of course.
I feel like I should be hurt that she's not focusing on finding me, but I'm not. I'm just glad that she's got someone with her to keep her from burning herself out. I still don't feel any kind of power within me that I could use to manifest myself. Abigail's my only hope. I turn to her, trying to keep my voice level despite my desperation.
Abigail, do you think you can manifest? Even if I can't reach them, maybe you can.
Abigail nods, but she's frowning. My heart wasn't exactly soaring, but I can feel it sink even further.
I'll try, but whatever power I had that allowed me to appear to you has felt much weaker since I used it to save you.
Abigail closes her eyes and starts to lift higher off the ground. As I watch, I feel a strange feeling in the air around me. It's as if bending around her, being pulled aside so she can step through the border between our worlds. For a minute, it seems like it's actually working. I'm trying to figure out what exactly I'm going to say when I feel the energy in the air start to fade. Abigail seems to be struggling, furrowing her brow as she sways in the air. It's good that Maddie knows Tara is looking for her. Yeah, I was worried it was gonna be like, that bitch isn't even sad. Her face scrunches and guilt stabs me like a knife. Is she in pain?
Abigail, stop. It's okay.
Maybe if I just try a little harder.
I reach out gently and take her hand, lowering her to the ground. She opens her eyes, breathing hard. As much as I want to see Tara, it's not worth making her feel like this.
It's okay. I promise. We can try again some other time.
Abigail gives a faint nod and stares down at her feet. Her hands ball into fists as her shoulders rise and fall.
I'm so sorry, Madison. I don't understand why this is happening.
There aren't any rule books for this sort of thing.
There might
I
be.
don't blame you for not knowing about things most people think are impossible to begin with.
The disappointment I'm feeling takes a backseat to concern for Abigail's well-being. I've already put her through a lot by making her come here in the first place.
We knew beforehand that this was a long shot. I'm just happy I got to see them again.
Are you sure?
I'm not, but I know that if I tell her that, she'll want to try again. It's better this way.
I'm sure. You've done more than enough by coming with me.
I look back to Tara and Morgan, taking what I pray isn't my final glance at them. To my surprise, Tara is leaning against Morgan's shoulder while Morgan's arm is wrapped around her back in a loose hug.
Thank you. As messed up as all this is, I'm glad that you're the one helping me get through it.
Tara's voice is soft and it carries a vulnerability I don't think I've ever heard from her before.
Same here. We make a good team.
Tara raises her head to look at Morgan, their faces inches apart.
We should have a team name, like the Dream Team or something.
We'll work on it.
I already had a feeling that the two of them had something going on before all this happened. I'm not that surprised if I'm being honest. Stuff like this has happened before with her, but it's always a one-night stand or some kind of quick fling, never the kind of thing that would merit real vulnerability. Then again, she's never been in a situation like this before. Maybe losing me brought out a part of her I never knew she had. As if in response to my thoughts, Morgan leans forward and kisses Tara. It's a lot more than a simple peck on the lips. This is something deeper. So deep, in fact, that I have to turn away. It seems wrong to spy on something that's intimate. Next to me, Abigail has also turned away. Her face is a bright crimson and her hands are close to her chest. I didn't stop to consider that this is the first act of intimacy she's seen in 2 centuries. For all I know, this could be the first time she's ever seen 2 women kiss. True. Hilarious.
You okay?
So this is like just cool now? She looks at me, looks up at me slightly alarmed.
Yes. I'm okay. I just wasn't prepared for something like that.
Trust me, I wasn't either.
Abigail pauses for a moment, closing her eyes and taking a calming breath. I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me. I think Abigail is fully awakened at this point. Back in her day, you'd be stoned as a slattern for showing too much ankle. What's a slattern? A small smile crosses Abby's face as she blushes, her wide eyes softening. It's a fancy word for slut? I haven't heard that before. Strumpet? I have not heard slattern before. You've taught me a new word.
It is nice though, isn't it? A love like that can give someone incredible strength.
Yeah, I'm happy for them.
I really am. Maybe this will help her cope better now that I'm gone?
But we should probably go. I feel really weird being here for this.
Of course. Maybe we can try this again another time.
Yay for new words. Yay for new dirty words. Her words lack conviction, but she doesn't protest. I'll have to think of some ways to cheer her up once we get back to the church.
Hey,
I'm sure you can cheer her up.
maybe...
The front door creaks open. All 4 of us freeze as we face the entrance. Evelyn stalks in and slams the door behind her. She doesn't say anything, but neither do Tara and Morgan. Tara is shaking, and Morgan places a protective arm in front of her as she glares at her mother. I shiver too, despite desperately wanting to look away but feeling unable to. A part of me screams to do something, anything, to get her away from Morgan and Tara. Yet, there's a stronger part of me screaming, I need to leave, I need to get out of here, but I feel just as frozen as the day I died. I feel Abigail on my arm pulling me backwards. She pulls my body through the connecting wall, and only when Evelyn is out of my vision can I breathe again. Abigail presses against me just as stunned as I am. I try to keep calm, telling myself that she doesn't even know we're here, that she can't hurt me anymore. I'm not so sure. Evelyn passes through the door and by the corner where Abigail and I are lurking, and she stops. Slowly, her head turns to where we are, where there's otherwise just empty space. She's so close that I can see her face contort in recognition and shock.
Madison!
I jerk my head towards Abigail to see that she's already started to head for the wall, waving for me to follow her. It's enough to snap me out of my trance. I run to her, casting a backwards glance at Evelyn to make sure she isn't following us. She doesn't move, but her eyes track us as we run. Right before I pass through the wall, her mouth opens.
How?
Oh snap, she can see ghosts. She can see something. I wonder if she actually saw, like, them, or like a light, or, you know, how they appeared in the forest, how Abigail appeared in the forest the first time. I don't know, but she seemed to know what was going on there. The fact that she doesn't understand that is interesting, though, right? I would almost expect her to know that Abigail is out there for 200 years. I don't stick around to find out what she says next. Abigail and I run as fast as we can, phasing through buildings and people with reckless abandon. After what we just saw, all other fears feel inconsequential. I can talk. By the time we're back in the forest, it's clear that Evelyn has no interest in pursuing us, for now at least.
Madison, are you okay?
Is Abigail a previous Morgan? Oh. Maybe. It's an interesting thought. A previous vessel. She puts her hand on my shoulder, pulling me closer to her. My head throbs painfully and my breathing is shaky, but her touch grounds me.
I'm not sure, but I'm a lot better now that we have some distance between us and her.
She's been killing people for hundreds of years, yeah. I mean, Abigail at least knows about Evelyn, right? And she hasn't been to town since she died, so it's not like Abigail's just been spying on town and figured out what Evelyn was doing after the fact, right? It seems like Abigail knew at the time that she died who Evelyn was and is. So she's got to be connected in some way, right? And there was also talk about her family, and her family wasn't very good to her, which sounds an awful lot like how Morgan is treated by her mom. So yeah, maybe very similar situations. I look backwards toward the village, half expecting her to come flying at us like some kind of demon.
She saw us, Abigail. How is that possible?
Abigail looks down at the ground, and I realize she's shaking as hard as I am.
I wish I knew. Madison, she said something to you before we left, didn't she?
Yeah, I didn't catch all of it, but I think I know what she was going to say. She looked shocked when she saw us. Confused, even. I think she didn't know about us being out here.
Abigail's voice is barely a whisper when she speaks. Her face is drained of color.
But now she does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not great. The message is clear. As long as Evelyn is Eisenfeld, we can't be. I'm sorry, Tara. I'm sorry, Morgan. But it looks like you're on your own. That's unfortunate. Abby. I'm gonna run into the restroom real quick. Because it's hot out. It's hot out and I'm drinking water like a good person. I return. The midday sun sits high in the sky, setting everything aglitter. The vibrant music of the forest, the pitter-patter of dripping snow, the chitter-chatter of birds, and the accompanying breeze is especially loud today. The events of yesterday are a forgotten nightmare, and so today must be a dream come true. Madison stands with her back to me and to the church, facing the forest. Her head is tilted back ever so slightly. For the first time, she truly looks at peace. For the briefest moment, she's framed by the sunlight. Then perhaps sensing me watching, she turns around and smiles at me. And I can't help but smile back. Without a doubt, the past several days have been the happiest of my extraordinarily long existence.
Good morning. Did you sleep well?
Yeah, I did. It's getting a bit easier.
That's wonderful.
I know that that isn't true, that she tossed and turned and sighed until early in the morning. I know, but I understand. Whatever it takes for her to feel more comfortable, more at home, I wish I knew how to help. For me, sleep was the last thing on my mind after I passed. I explored endlessly, backtracking over and over again until I knew every step of these woods. Abby POV, yeah. Abby POV. We're just gonna get POV everyone. Don't be surprised if it's just like, we're Evelyn now. I wouldn't put that past this game at this point. I made the most of my situation as best I could, and rather well if I do say so myself.
What would you like to do today?
Have we had Tarot POV? We have had Terra POV. It was very brief. When was that? Terra was like the first person we switched to. But now we've been Morgan more than we've been Terra at this point.
Let's go back to that forest clearing. The one where the fairies live? I'd like to see it again.
My soul sings that out of everywhere we've been, that would be the place she wants to return. I rush to her side, drawn to her presence like a magnet. Simply being near her makes me happy. A part of my mind screams at me that I don't deserve it. The same way that she doesn't deserve to be so miserable. Still, I put on my brightest smile as I touch her arm.
That sounds perfect. I'd like nothing better. Shall we go now?
Yeah, sure.
As is tradition, I lead the way out of the church toward the forest. The trees and branches part invitingly, familiar and old. I ask the forest to take us to the clearing, and I can feel it ripple in response. Not physically, but in my heart. I know that the forest is listening. It's difficult to explain. So much of this existence has been habit and routine for me that I just keep taking for granted the difficulties Madison must be growing through. The emotional turmoil, coupled with the way that her own understanding of the universe itself keeps changing. I feel another pain in my heart at that, the stab of guilt once more for enjoying her presence. Madison accompanies me unhesitatingly, her steps more confident than they used to be. We walk side by side. I relish the closeness. I wonder if it even crosses her mind. When we reach the clearing, Madison sighs contentedly, relaxed and easy. A tranquil expression settles on her face. Like a masterpiece of art, I'd spend the whole day appreciating that look if I could. The grove's serenity is contagious. I also feel more at peace here. We head for the shore of the pond, as still and glassy as ever.
I really love it here. It's so calm.
I nod. Of course, we've discussed it before, but I don't mind. I could listen to her talk about anything for any amount of time.
It actually reminds me of somewhere back at home. There's a little lake near where Tara and I live. Sometimes I like to go and sit down there to think. There are a ton of geese and ducks around too. Sometimes they won't leave you alone, so you just have to ignore them.
I envisioned a flock of birds surrounding Madison, all quacking and vying for her attention.
Maybe they want you to sing to them too.
Quack, quack. Madison laughs, sweet and subtle. It's the most beautiful sound in the world.
Nah, they just want food. It's really popular to go down and feed them. Moms do it with their kids a lot. But then the birds get so used to it that they think every human has frozen peas for them.
They must be disappointed quite often then.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. She trails off, looking wistful. I'm sure she's thinking of home. I try not to ask her much about the life before I met her, because I know that the memories hurt. To my surprise, though, Madison clears her throat and continues talking.
I wish that you could see it someday. My home, I mean, in America. I think you'd like it there.
I'm sure that I would. I'd love to see any place that you care so much about. All of the buildings and the lights.
I try to envision what it might be like, but it's futile. There's so much that I don't know, so many things I haven't seen. Where are they? Yeah. Europe? Question mark? Trying to imagine it is like trying to imagine a color that I've never seen before. No matter what she says, it's impossible to visualize. Even the memories I have of the few times I have left Eisenfeld have long since faded. To me, the only world that exists now is the forest.
I keep thinking, in your time, what would I have been like? Would I be the same person if I never fell in love with films?
Film?
I was gonna say.
Oh, it's like a play that you can watch anytime. They're really compelling.
I see.
Madison moves her arms a little, looking like she wants to say more, but eventually just shakes her head. She smiles a bit sadly.
There are so many things like that. Films or events in history that are so normal to me, but that I keep forgetting you don't know about.
So let's explain Nazis real quick. Must be Europe, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England. Could be. Yeah, I mean, ostensibly English speaking, right? But who knows how literally they're taking from the real world, right?
So if I ever say anything that makes no sense at all, I can try to explain.
There are a lot of things I've wondered about, it's true. For instance, sometimes I'll see great noisy machines up in the sky. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Madison giggles again, but I don't know why.
Yeah, those are called airplanes. They're kind of like giant carriages that carry people around. That's how we got from America to here.
What? Don't tease me like that. There's no way something like that could fly.
No, it's true. It's really true. They're the fastest way to get around the world. There are also these things called cars, which are much smaller and only fit a few people.
Geographic is definitely more Norway, yeah. Highlands of Scotland, maybe? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't think it's that specific. I don't think there's a specific place where they are. I think this is fictional town. Abigail's from 200 years ago. Hopefully she's not racist. We have only seen white people so far. Love how Abigail's face is so mad right now.
But most people own their own car and use it to get around.
Do you have one?
I do.
Why not use that to cross the ocean?
She laughs again, and I don't know why. At first, I feel embarrassed. The gulf of knowledge that I lack nearly as wide as the ocean that she claims to have crossed. But then she steps closer, placing her arms around me in a light hug. Again, I don't know why. But it's lovely. I feel myself relaxing, leaning against her arms and just enjoying the closeness, the comfort, the affection. Far too soon, Madison relaxes and I regretfully pull away from her. She gazes up at the sky, and for a brief moment, I anticipate another lesson about the modern world.
I've been thinking a lot about what you said the other day. About how you've never wanted to leave this place.
Yes, I'm far too cowardly for that.
And in many other ways, too.
I don't think that's cowardly at all. It's difficult to leave behind what you know and what feels safe. In fact, it's really scary. I know that the two don't really compare, but before I decided to quit Tara's show, I felt the same way. Like I was afraid to leave, just because I was so used to it being part of my life. But I decided that if I wasn't happy with how things were, that I should just take the risk and change something. Everyone has those worries, though. That doesn't make you a coward.
Madison half smiles, the side of her mouth curling up just a little bit.
If we ever do find a way out of here, maybe you could come back to America with me.
She's joking. I'm sure she doesn't mean it, or at least not fully, and yet my heart flutters like a bird taking flight. Even after everything that's happened, that she have concern for someone like me. She truly is the most extraordinary person I've met. And as happy as her offer makes me, it hurts like a knife in my heart to know that it could never be. I wouldn't deserve that kind of happiness anyway. Still, I smile back in kind.
That might be nice. Would I have to ride on an airplane?
Oh, definitely. People don't really take boats across the ocean for travel anymore. Not nearly as much. Pretty much everyone flies.
Isn't that scary? How does something so heavy manage to stay up in the air?
Physics.
It's kind of scary the first few times, but you get used to it. As for how it's possible, well, there's all sorts of science behind it, but that would take too long to explain.
I feel like Morgan's outfit is somewhat Scandinavian. That's... yeah. I could see that. I mean, it's a big sweater, so it could be from anywhere.
Anyway, though, you could stay with me and Tara. We've got plenty of space. Or we could help you find your own apartment.
It almost seems rude to take someone who's been dead for 200 years and then bring them to America and go apartment hunting. I just... leave me in the forest, please.
There's a lot you'd have to learn about the modern world, of course, but it'd be worth it, and we could help you learn.
Madison continues on, explaining this and that procedure we'd have to go through and how we'd overcome each obstacle. Well, first we need to forge you a birth certificate and steal a social security number. I play my part, smiling and nodding along. It's an easy role. It does sound wonderful. In fact, there's nothing I'd like more. Could live in this beautifully enchanted forest or America, yeah. And though at first I thought she was joking, she's being completely serious. That makes it hurt even more. Because I know it's impossible. I close my eyes and to help hide the tears that have sprung there, unbidden. Fortunately, Madison doesn't even seem to notice. Her voice trails off, and when I open my eyes again, I see that she's looking past me, her eyes wide with awe. I spin around. Fluttering about far too early in the day. A bunch of fairies, yay!
Are those the fairies you were talking about?
Yes.
A handful of them flit amongst the trees and lights, paying us no mind. They move like dancers, their motions fluid and in sync with each other. Stand still, I want to look at you. As one rises up to adjust a hanging light, another fairy weaves between the branches, carrying something in its hands that I can't see. The fairy lights? Suddenly, Neil Diamond, America starts playing loudly. Though I only spy a few of them right now, I'm sure that many more are just out of sight, deeper in the grove or otherwise nearby. Madison watches them with unabashed awe.
What are they doing?
I shrug.
I'm not sure. I've never seen them out during the day like this. Usually they stay hidden in their hive until the moon is out.
Hive?
They aren't like humans. They're something entirely different. Even though I've spoken with them before, I don't really understand them.
Wait, they can talk? Like they can speak human language?
Yes. They aren't the most eloquent, but yes.
I see.
Daka. The only time I've talked with them was the first time I came to this grove, all on my own. At first they had tried to drive me out, but eventually realized that I mean them no harm. Since then, we haven't interacted.
They're part of the forest too, right? In the connected way that you were talking about before.
Yes.
She makes a sound in acknowledgement, but doesn't say anything more. Whatever implications or meaning that might have to her goes unspoken. Oh, you wanker, get the fuck out of here. I could see it. Soon the fairies disappear once more into the trees, whatever business that called them here finished. They go silently, not even the hum of their tiny wings reaching us. After only seconds, we're left all alone again.
They weren't anything like I expected.
Really? How so?
In stories I've heard, fairies are always smaller and look like little people with wings. Not like what we just saw.
How'd you even get a good look at them? Look off, this is our luck.
And they usually live in flowers and fields, not the snow.
Now I just really want a clan of angry Scottish fairies.
But those are just stories, of course. I keep having to remind myself that this is real life, and that real life doesn't care what happens in stories.
You're also foul-mouthed like Geladura, but she is a lady, so it's all internal for her. Yeah, exactly. Madison looks down at the pond. Gently, she places the tip of her foot into the water. Of course, the water remains still like she isn't even there. She takes a tentative step forward, still standing upon the water. It supports her effortlessly. Her hands are slightly outstretched, as if she might lose her balance or footing and fall in. She turns around to face me.
I had an idea, actually, about getting out of here. Do you think that the forest spirit could help us? It's powerful, right? Maybe it could use its magic to make us humans again. We could even talk to it together. You'd seriously be welcome to come back with me and Tara. I'd like that a lot, actually.
I can't look at her, can't meet her eyes. All I can do is nod, trying to smile, and hoping she doesn't see my tears.
I'd like that too. Perhaps it could help. There's certainly a chance.
I'd accept fairies talking like 40k orcs. I think this needs to happen. There isn't. Her face lights up. Even the prospect of leaving makes her happy.
Great! Maybe we can plan together what the best way to ask it would be?
I just nod again. It's all I can do.
Sure.
I can't bring myself to tell her the truth, that no matter what she asks, what she says, there's no way the spirit can grant her wish. It's not just something that can be reversed. Her mortal form was destroyed by Evelyn just shortly after I saved her spirit. Oh, so is her body not even there anymore? As far as the rest of the world is concerned, Madison Raines no longer exists. Neither the forest spirit nor I have the power to remake her. There's no escape. Chapter 4. And now we're Morgan again. Cthulhu can help? Yeah, I'm sure. Another morning, nothing's changed. No progress, no hope. The only difference this morning is that Tara is still asleep. It's the first time I've woken up before her since we started sleeping together. I'm glad she's still sleeping. I can tell she needs it. I slip out of bed and dress silently. My next move should be heading to the shop. Sticking to routine is what's kept Evelyn off our backs. For now. The instant I start thinking about Evelyn again, I'm hit by a powerful urge to climb back into bed and wrap my arms around Tara. Hold her for a little longer. I don't. She needs her rest, and there's still some time before she leaves. Somehow, thinking about that makes me feel even worse. I try to push the thoughts away, but her voice does that for me.
Oh shit, what time is it?
She's sitting up in bed and rubbing at her eyes. She's still wearing her clothes from the night before, or at least the top half. But her sitting up doesn't mean she's actually awake.
It's still early. You can rest more.
No, it's fine. I got this.
I'm just going to go spend some time in the shop so nobody comes to check in on us later today. Get some sleep. I'll be back soon.
You sure?
I move back to the bed and kiss her forehead before lowering her onto the pillow.
I'm sure. I'll wake you up when I'm back.
Okay, cool. Thanks, babe. Thanks.
Dead silence.
I know what you meant.
I'm out the door before either of us can say a word. Adorable. They are very cute together. I don't want to think about that right now. I just need to get to the shop. Yeah. I'm so focused on that I almost slam into Evelyn the second I step outside.
No need to rush, dear.
My brain jumps to panic mode. Why is she here? She's never here in the morning. Did she come for us? The door isn't shut all the way. I could run back inside, grab Tara, get out. I know deep down that it's pointless to try. If she wanted us dead, we'd be dead. I don't know why she's sparing us, but if she changes her mind, we won't get a warning.
What do you want?
Her mouth curls into a frown.
Am I not supposed to take an interest in my daughter's life? I thought you had outgrown that phase.
I grit my teeth. The sight of Tara's body being flung into the wall. Maddie's room in the cabin hauntingly empty. She doesn't have the right to even pretend to be my mother.
I'm not your daughter.
Morgan!
I flinch as she raises her voice. I hate letting her get a rise out of me, but there's too many memories making me afraid of that sound. She just sighs and her features sink. She almost looks visibly hurt. Only almost. There's still something inhuman about her expression. Something I've never been able to understand. It's the teefies.
You can be so cruel sometimes. You weren't always. When you were young, you were the sweetest thing. You would never imagine the things you say to me so casually now.
I clench my fists, have to keep it together. My nails push slightly against the skin of my palm. As always, my fingers freeze before they draw blood.
I'm going to work.
My voice comes out as a rasp, and I cringe at the weakness of it. She puts her hand on my shoulder as I try to walk past.
Work can wait, dear. I'm sure your customers will understand. I have something to show you.
Still not sure how she has customers.
I thought since you were so desperate to see in my office, I could give you a little glimpse of what I keep in there.
I don't like that. Evelyn drops her hand, her lips twisting into a sickeningly sweet smile.
If you're not interested, however, I'm sure your American friend would be eager to join me.
My blood freezes. I want to hit her. I want to scream at her. I'm not sure if it's fear or the curse she's placed on me that keeps me rooted to the spot. I can't even look up at her. She knows she's won, as she always has. I can feel her eyes on me as she awaits for me to follow her. The moment passes, and she makes a sound of affirmation. She turns away.
Now come with me, dear.
I figure out where we're heading after a couple minutes of walking. The forest. If she's taking me in there, then this could be it.
Ah, here we are.
I look back to the house for what I hope isn't the last time. What's going to happen if Tara wakes up and can't find me? What if she never sees me again?
Tara.
She's gonna have a hard time. I mutter her name under my breath. Some dumb childish part of me hopes that she heard it somehow. It's better that she's not here, but I wish she was.
What was that, dear?
Nothing.
I ought to thank your friend. She's made motivating you so much easier. It's nice to see you caring about someone other than yourself for once. I'd almost think you were finally growing up, if you weren't so stubbornly holding on to your teenage rebelliousness.
I don't say anything. I keep my face blank. 1, 2, breathing. She pays me no mind. We walk into the forest, past the initial tree line into the depths. At least I know where we are. Or I thought I did. As we keep on walking, I realize that I don't know where we are at all. And by teenage rebelliousness, Evelyn means her body. Yeah, no joke. I don't recognize any of this. The trees are different. These aren't the ones I know. They aren't even the ones I saw when we started walking. I've walked this path dozens of times. There's no way I'm making a mistake. The branches bolt out of the sun even more than usual, and the shadows seem to blend around Evelyn. I can hear the creaking of old wood in the darkness. It almost sounds like the trees are moving. I've never seen the forest behave like this. I've never seen anything behave like this. As we walk, Evelyn keeps turning her head around to glance at me. probably trying to see how scared I am. I don't let my expression waver. I don't want it. I don't let her in. She won't win this one. The things around me don't even look like trees anymore. They're too gnarled and rotten. They twist into shapes that should be impossible. They form walls around us as we walk, pushing us forward. I can't help drawing in on myself. It's like the whole forest is closing around us. It's getting harder to breathe. I feel like I'm about to be crushed by the forest itself. And just when I think I can't take it anymore, we break into a clearing. And in the center of the clearing is a beautiful radiant tree. An Erd tree. It's actually green. Real brilliant green needles. The trunk is so thick and sturdy that the bark makes it look armor-plated. The rich scent of pine fills the air. The shadows around us are kept at bay by a shimmering golden light. Little does Evelyn realize, but it's too dark for Morgan to see that she's turning her head around owl style. I can breathe again. Crisp, clear air fills my lungs. The awful sensations of the twisted forest are all but forgotten. I reach out my hand to it, but only reach. Something inside me tells me that I'm not supposed to touch it. That I'm not supposed to even be here.
What is this?
She ignores me, or at least I think she does. I don't turn around to look at her. I'm too transfixed by the tree ahead of me. I don't know how long I stand there staring, but after some time I notice the air around me change. My limbs begin to numb almost immediately. When I look back at Evelyn, she's glowing, an oily shimmer all over her body. And she's smiling at me. Smiling.
You were so peaceful, so calm. I can't remember another time when you were so relaxed. I hate to interrupt it. Really, I do. But I only have so much time to spend here. Do you understand?
She starts walking towards me. That's when I see the knife in her hand. I try to open my mouth to speak. I try to move my feet away from her. I can't. Completely still, impulse crashes against nature. My heart hammers in my chest. Every muscle in my body is frozen. I can't even shake. She's a good villain, I'll give her that. She's creepy. She's creepy for sure.
This forest spirit. It's so young. As small as it is, the power within it is enough to melt the ice in this place, to draw you in. You love it so much, even though you'd only just met it moments ago.
A rush of understanding fills me. The warmth, the peace of this place. A haven from the cold, and we are the
I
intruders.
always knew you were part of this forest. Much more than any of the others. This confirms that.
Any of the others. She grabs my hand and holds it up, examining my palm, running her finger over its creases, as if it's like nothing she's ever seen before.
I thought it would make you dangerous. It didn't. It made you weaker.
She presses the blade to my hand. My mind screams at my body, desperately trying to get my muscles to respond.
Your one chance at success, of escape. And you're weakened by it.
She laughs to herself, like she knows a joke that I'm not in on. With a swift motion, she drags the knife against my palm. I stare in horror as blood trickles and pools from the open gash.
Since you loved it so much, I wonder how it will feel for you to be the one to kill it.
My strings are cut in that moment and I fall over. The rush of sensations rush over me all at once. The pain, the cold. I scream out, clutching my palm. I turn and try to crawl immediately, my instincts shouting at me as I fall on my knees over and over. Get up, run, run! But it's too late. Evelyn grabs my wrist so hard I can feel like the bones are about to break, and she swings me around and presses my bloody palm into the forest spirit. Before I can rip my hand away, I feel a voice bursting forth from within. Okay. Pain rips forth from my chest. The more I try to hold the words back, I cover my mouth with my hands and stumble back in horror. That's Elvish script? Yeah, I was gonna say. That's just straight up Elvish. But it's too late. An unexplainable sound fills the air. A hideous groaning. I know what it is. I do. I don't want to admit it to myself, though. It's the spirit. Blackness moves up the shining green needles. The calming aura disappears completely, and it's replaced by something else. Pain. It's pain. I fall to my knees, and as the trunk begins to twist into itself, bits of bark fall into the snow. The rotting blackness creeps up from its roots, and the unsteady trunk begins to sway. The needles wither and die. My head is filled with its suffering. I hear a crackling then. A black tar seeps out from the bark, smelling of death. Morgan screams in pain and terror as the ancestral tree before her is killed. It bursts into flames.
No.
Oh dear.
No.
I try to hold my mouth closed. Incantations leave my throat in a voice that's mine but yet isn't. Evelyn's standing further back now, watching the scene before her. Her face is contorted into a terrifying grin. She's enjoying this. The crackling grows louder. My breath catches in my chest, and out of the corner of my eye I see Evelyn, hand outstretched.
Don't! Stop!
With a crack louder than thunder, the spirit's trunk splits in two. A beat of silence follows, and then I hear the screams. It comes from all around me, something crying out within the woods, a shrieking, earth-shattering wail. My heart breaks. It's not something in the forest. It is the forest. Somehow the trees around me are screaming in pain. I'm screaming now. I can barely hear myself through the shrieking vortex around me. I can't look. I bow my head, still screaming as the fire burns. Even the fire feels wrong. It's cold, freezing. Fire blooms around the tree, shooting high above the tree line. In one giant blinding burst, the tree is gone. All that's left is a circle of scorched earth. The burn is more intense than anything I've ever seen. It looks like it stretches down forever. Somewhere in my heart, I know nothing will ever grow here again. The screams start to fade. I slowly take my hands from my ears.
Thank you for being such a help, dear. Really.
Morgan looks back at Evelyn with gritted teeth.
You're a monster.
How funny. Your mother said the exact same thing. You really do take after her.
I can't gather my thoughts enough to respond. The screams are still echoing in my mind. Elden Ring from the Erd Tree POV? There you go. I was gonna say, are we Melina? Is Morgan Melina?
Never forget this day, child. In the brief time you have left, I want you to know for certain that you don't stand a chance at changing your fate. You never have. None of you ever had. And when the time comes for you to serve as my vessel, I'll make sure the next one won't either.
She reaches out toward me and I prepare for the worst. But all she does is pat my head and ruffle my hair.
You can find your own way home, I assume.
Jeez.
I know how much you love these woods.
She gives another chuckle as she turns and walks away, heading back to the shadowy trees. She disappears into the darkness. All that's left is me in the disgusting burnt circle. My mind is blank, numb with shock. Quietly, slowly, one thought begins to take form. Oh my god. I mean, obviously she'll pay for this, right? No, bitch, you're going down. You've pushed your villain arch too far. She's a good villain. She's definitely she's a Disney-style evil queen woman person. She'll pay. Yeah, I think she's gonna pay. I feel like this is the oh, that's interesting. There's nothing we can do is such a pathetic response. I mean, yeah. I am interested to see... I might have to do another playthrough of this after we're done. I'm curious what that would change, right? Just game over. Because this is like a very obvious, like, this is the one we should choose, right? But clearly there's a reason not to. There's nothing we can do. Sounds like be sad forever. Yeah. Sad forever. We're gonna try to not be sad forever. Please do the bottom. You can do the bad ending yourself. Yeah. She's tried to break me for years, over and over again. I've never let her, and I'm not going to let her do it now. I don't care how powerful she is. I don't care what she did to Maddie. She's going to pay, and Tara and I are going to make sure of it. We'll destroy her once and for all. We'll leave this place behind for good, together, and nothing's going to stop us. Kick Evelyn butt? I definitely want to kick Evelyn butt. I hope this is the kind of game that lets you. I open the front door and its weight drags me forward as I stumble inside. I prop myself up on the knob trying to catch my breath, but I can't. Tara must have heard the door because her footsteps come booming down the stairs. She doesn't fall. I'm surprised given that the last 5 times she ended up slamming into the wall. Does that feel in character for Morgan? She's a tricky one. I think it does feel in character for her to stop Evelyn no matter what it takes, but I'm afraid that what it takes is going to be like you say, if Morgan doesn't survive, then the cycle ends, right? I felt like both options seemed reasonable for Morgan. Right, yeah, I mean I could see her coming to either conclusion. Keep telling her to be careful. This time I'm glad she isn't. She's been through a lot, so I can see her wanting to just give up. If she was on her own, she might, but the fact that Tara is here, I feel like is another factor, right? I feel like if with Tara here, I feel like she wants to fight. Closing the door behind me, I finally managed to enter the kitchen as she rounds the corner.
Holy shit, you're okay. I thought when you didn't come home,
I'm okay. Don't worry. It wasn't anything.
I can't seem to finish my sentence. My head is swimming. I stumble again, ready to collapse on the floor.
Let's go upstairs. You need some rest. Come on.
It is interesting, though, like that was clearly a huge branch point. Yeah. Maybe the two of them just leave and don't try to get Maddie back. Just bail. Her voice is warm, quiet, and reassuring. I can't believe it belongs to the same girl that spends her days yelling about the Loch Ness Monster. But it's what I need right now.
Thank you, Tara.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. We're the dream team, remember?
Still working on that name. She flashes me a now very familiar wide-mouthed, goofy grin. I can tell she's trying to distract me from the fear and worry I can see in her eyes. She's never been hard to read. Oh my goodness. She's never been hard to read, but now she's an open book. At least she's trying. That counts. Yeah, maybe they both die now trying and failing, and they could have run off and lived happily ever after. I mean, right. I mean, the fact that it's such an obvious, like, why wouldn't we choose that kind of choice makes me wonder what we've done wrong. Same thing with the first one.
Come on, let's get up there.
Tara holds my arm to steady me as we go up the stairs. I hate being like this. I'm not supposed to be weak. I can't be weak. I ignore the shaking in my legs and force myself to stand on my own. Even if I'm just walking to the bed to sit down, it helps.
You just sit here for a minute and relax, okay? I'll go make some coffee or something.
I thought you didn't even know how to make coffee.
That's where the or something comes in.
I'll just burn your house down. It's cool. Takes me a second to realize that I'm laughing. Everything's gone wrong, but I'm laughing. Every time I start to lose hope, she makes me laugh. She's smiling again. It's genuine this time.
I guess I'll take the risk. Thank you, Tara.
I'm not good with words. I want to kiss her to thank her genuinely. It's not the right time. I kiss her cheek instead. Tara hesitates, staring at Morgan blankly, her eyebrows knit together in a look of worry. She doesn't say anything. She just turns and heads for the kitchen. Maybe that was a mistake, but I don't think it was. A whirlpool of panic hits my brain the instant she leaves. It threatens to overcome me, crashing over my thoughts and pulling me deeper into the abyss. My breathing runs ragged. I close my eyes, counting to 100 as I've done so many times before. But it's not enough. The forest, Maddie, Evelyn, Tara. I try to raise my head above the water. I can't do this. After everything with Maddie, with Evelyn, Tara shouldn't have to deal with my problems too. And neither of us have time to deal with all the feelings I know we're not talking about. If I'm a bigger part of the picture than Maddie, I know what that's going to lead to. A bigger part of the picture than Maddie. I'll hold it in. It'll be fine. I'll just not express all these emotions I'm having. That's always the correct answer. I shake my head. It's so much harder to lie to myself than it used to be. Those heavy footsteps save me from the mess in my head. Tara slips back into the room with 2 mugs of what I think is supposed to be coffee. The smell of coffee always makes me feel calm, but right now it just makes me feel sick.
Here we go. If the caffeine in this doesn't wake you up, then at least the taste will.
As long as it doesn't kill me.
No promises.
I bring the mug to my lips and taste it carefully. It's not bad, or I'm just desperate. Either way, I keep drinking it.
So, what happened out there? Did she hurt you?
Not really. She just went on about how I can't do anything to her. It wasn't anything serious.
You should tell her about the tree thing.
Bullshit.
Yeah. I want to tell her not to worry, but I can't. Evelyn's laughter rattles around in my head the second I open my mouth. I place the already empty mug of coffee on my desk. I hear Tara's sharp intake of breath behind me and I spin around, my heart racing. Fear and worry reflect in her eyes as her gaze flits between my face and my hand. Look down at my own palm, still bleeding gently. It throbs now that I'm looking at it. With everything that had happened, I forgot about it. Tara reaches forward and holds my hand between her own, applying a gentle pressure to it. Her concern is more than I can handle. I can't lie to her.
I'm sorry, Tara. We've already got so much to worry about. I didn't want to give you more.
I want to look out for you, Morgan. I can take it.
The two of us sit silently for what feels like an eternity. Every sentence I try to form falls apart the moment I open my mouth. The screaming echoes in my head, but eventually I do it.
And then I couldn't stop. I was killing it.
Tara rubs my hand, staying quiet as I continue talking. I feel my eyes stinging the more I speak, but I have to hold it together.
It was burning. It was burning and dying. It was like the entire forest felt it. I couldn't stop the magic no matter what I did. And after everything was said and done, Evelyn,
I feel a tightness in my chest. I've never spoken like this before to anyone, not even to Geladura.
She told me my real mother was just like me.
I can't bring myself to continue. Voicing the implications out loud would make them more real than they already are. My real mother is gone, and whatever similarities we bore now mean nothing. All that matters is that she lost.
Shit, Morgan,
The stinging's getting worse.
She probably doesn't know how much we know. If she's trying to scare you, that means she's really scared of us. Her pulling weird shit in the forest isn't gonna change anything.
I don't know, it was pretty weird shit. She can't understand. How do I tell her about the screams of the forest, that black fire?
The trees were...
I cut myself off. What am I doing? I already told myself I wasn't going to let this get to me, and here I am, already about to lose it. I have to keep it together. Black flame? Yeah. They killed the tree god, you know.
You're right. Sorry. I shouldn't have made such a big deal out of it.
Evelyn Gloam-Eyed Queen confirmed, agreed.
Hey, that's not what I meant. I want to hear what you have to say.
She sits down next to me. The stinging in my eyes isn't going away, no matter how many times I try to blink it back.
You know I'm not the best at, saying stuff. or knowing how to say stuff.
You know, I just say stuff as a profession.
Isn't that your job?
Yeah, but do I ever look like I know what I'm doing?
She holds my hand as I chuckle.
You've got a point, but I'm okay, I promise. It was just some cheap scare tactic.
Cheap, okay.
I wouldn't let something like that beat me. Like you said, this is just a sign that we're on the right track.
If Morgan's mom was like Morgan, it sort of implies each time is getting tougher for Evelyn, perhaps. Could be. Could be.
Just because everyone else before us failed, that doesn't mean that...
Morgan.
Huh?
You're crying.
What? No, I'm not.
Inch by inch, I reach up and touch my cheek. It's wet. I can't be crying. My eyes are still stinging. I've been holding it back.
It's okay. You can cry.
I told you, I'm not...
My voice cuts off as I let out a choked sob.
I'm not...
Tears flow down my face for the first time in years. Each one burns my skin like a tiny painful reminder of how pathetic I'm being. I desperately try to wipe the tears away even though I know it's pointless. They just keep coming. I squeeze my eyes shut instead in hopes that it'll somehow force the tears back in. That's how it works. Like 300 years ago, it was like, okay, time to sacrifice the virgins to the evil forest god, and now it's got a lot more admin. There's a bit more of a cover-up going these days. That's definitely true. Probably less paperwork to cover up it back in the day. And then once again, I feel Tara's arms around me. She squeezes me so hard that I start thinking she's trying to wring the tears out of me.
Let it out. You know I've got you.
I let it out. I throw my arms around her and rest my head on my against my shoulder. Okay. All I can do is hope that the fabric muffles the sobs. She rubs my back slowly and presses her lips to my forehead. I already feel like I'm burning inside, but her warmth is different. Soothing. My whole body shakes against Tara. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't say anything. She just holds me close. This isn't the girl I spent years watching yell about monsters on the internet. This isn't even the girl that stepped off the train a few weeks ago. Something about being here changed her. As I cling to her for dear life, I realize that it changed me too. I can feel the tears start to slow when that thought crosses my mind. I'm finally able to catch my breath. Tara's grip on me loosens as I stop shaking. When she takes her lips off my forehead, I have to fight the urge to pull her back down. I pull away and sit up instead. It's nice to be able to wipe my cheeks and actually have them stay dry. Looking at her now, I can see that Tara's face is stained with tears too. It's my fault.
I'm sorry.
Hey, it's cool. I don't think anyone on Earth or anywhere else would say you don't deserve a minute to get it all out there.
If you say so.
For what it's worth, I think you stand a way better chance than any of the people that came before you. After all, you've got one thing they don't.
Me!
What's that?
She breaks into another massive grin that the tear streaks on her face can't hope to tarnish. I know what she's going to say before she even brings out the finger guns.
Me, obviously.
I start to chuckle before bursting into laughter. Real, full laughter. Every now and then a sob slips in. I don't mind as much anymore. As always, she knew how to make me feel better.
My incredibly humble savior.
Hey, if I can't stay on brand even under the threat of death, I don't deserve to be popular.
I love that about you.
I clamp my mouth shut the instant the words leave it. I don't know where that came from. Tara's expression makes it clear she doesn't either.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
We look away from each other. I do my best to focus on anything in the room that will hold my attention.
Hey, can I say something?
When I look back up at her, I can see her entire face is bright red.
As much as I love to joke, I'm 100% serious about you having something that they didn't have. More than one thing, actually.
What are you talking about?
I mean, you're really brave. Like, the bravest person I've ever met. You're smart, too. A hell of a lot smarter than I am.
She scrunches her face in that cute way when she's trying to figure out what she wants to say next. Which means I've seen it a lot.
You're all the things that I act like I am. You're smart, you're brave, you're strong. You're not afraid to fight back against bullshit. You're beautiful, you're capable. You've been through a ton of bad shit all your life, and you're still fighting, even against things nobody else out there believes. I spend nearly every day of my life thinking about the strangest things in the world, and I still couldn't have imagined someone like you really existing.
If I hadn't watched her ramble for years, then I'm sure that by now she'd be incomprehensible. But I can hear every word. I can feel my heart beating faster with each one.
And you're just really awesome and fun to be around, and being here with you is one of the best things that's ever happened to me, and I don't want this to end, and I'm...
You're in love with me.
Mm-hmm. What if it's more like we sacrifice a virgin to the noble forest god and then Evelyn usurped the right and suddenly had a new plan? Oh, that could be.
I'm in love with you!
Wait, did I just... And she... We both sit in stunned silence. Just sapphic things. I try to tell myself that I don't know where that came from. Another lie. I've known for a while now. Just like I know that I...
Look, I'm really sorry. I know we agreed from the start that we wouldn't catch feelings. I swear I've never had this happen before.
She's a mess. But she's a mess I'm in love with.
I get if you're upset, and I'm sorry for bringing us up now while we've still got this other shit going on. And when this is over, I can just leave, and I won't make a big deal about any of it, and we can just go back to living our own separate lives.
I grab her cheeks and pull her face toward mine before she even realizes I've moved. I bring our lips together hard and kiss her in a way I never have before. I don't know how to describe it. I just know it's something new. We've kissed plenty of times, but this isn't like any of those. This isn't like any kiss I've ever had with anyone. It's healing. It's grounding. It's incredible. It only takes a second before she kisses back hard. She grabs me again and I can feel her hands moving along the length of my body. It's like she's looking for handholds. I realize in the back of my mind that this is the first time we've had a kiss this deep without one of us putting their tongue in the other one's mouth. I'd laugh if I didn't have more important things to do with my mouth. We do have to stop for breath eventually. All we do is blow hot air into each other's faces for a split second before coming back together. This is too good to let it end so soon. One of us is crying. It had better not be me. We break to gasp for air.
I love you too, obviously.
Tara plants smaller kisses on my bottom lips as I speak.
Yeah,
Bottom lip,
I kind of figured.
Saying it out loud feels incredible. It's like dropping weights I've been carrying for miles. I can feel everything Evelyn took from me coming back in force.
I guess I really do have you after all.
With an air of finality, we break apart but remain close. Tara presses her forehead to mine and nuzzles my nose. Tara's blushing hard while looking at Morgan, determined.
I'm not going to let her hurt you. I promise.
I know.
We're gonna beat this thing, Morgan. We're gonna kick Evelyn's ass, and we're gonna save my best friend. And when we leave the shitty village behind for good, I want you to come with us.
Yeah, of course.
I'm still not able to match her level of confidence. I love her, but that doesn't magically guarantee things will be okay. I keep trying to get there, though.
So, what does this make us?
What do you mean?
Are we, like, dating? Or...
She rubs the back of her neck and smiles awkwardly. Worst parasocial relationship ever.
I mean, it's been a while since I've done something like this, and this isn't exactly a normal dating scenario.
I know what she's trying to say. We don't know what's around the corner yet.
I don't know. Not that it's anything against you, of course. I love you a lot. I don't doubt that for a second. But I don't know if I can put a name on that love right now. Not with everything else we're dealing with.
And here I always thought fighting an ancient evil monster would be the perfect setting for asking someone out.
She doesn't sound mad. That's a good sign.
Maybe, if everything turns out okay, we could give it a shot. Putting a name on it, I mean.
She cranes her neck up towards me and kisses my cheek.
Saving it for after we kick some ass, huh? I can dig it. So, what does that make us? For right now, I mean.
Can we just be people who love each other? Stay friends the way we are right now, but in love.
Yeah, I think I can do that. I do have one question, though.
Just explain how that works. This wasn't a visual novel that Kiss would have kicked off the horror part of the game.
Can we kiss more often now?
That works for me.
Were you holding back before? I already know she's about to kiss me, but I beat her there. My lips meet hers on the way up. Her squeak of surprise melts away as we hold each other. I'm still afraid. I'm still uncertain. But this helps. She helps. Thank you, Tara, for everything. No. Tara wants a girlfriend, Morgan. Give her that. It's been a weird morning. Usually when I get up, Abigail's awake and ready to go. I guess I didn't even see who we were switching to. We're Maddie now, right? And usually she has been for several hours. This morning, though, I awoke to find her dozing nearby, long past when she'd normally be up. She complained about having a headache, so we decided to take a walk through the forest to clear her head. Because of the tree burning. Hi. So far, it seems to have had the opposite effect, though, and we've been walking in uncomfortable silence. It's been maybe an hour or so when we first noticed the buzzing. At first, it was very faint, like the sound of the wind or rustling trees, but then it started to get louder and louder.
Fairies!
Fairies! It is funny, in the first stream you were like, no, I don't think we'll switch POV. I did think that, yes. Usually if a game switches POVs, then it's like, you get that pretty early, right? I mean, we didn't get a POV switch for like the first 4 or 5 hours, maybe. And now we're hopping all over the place. You can really never tell with visual novels. That's my lesson. It's the first word she's said in ages. She pulls me closer to her as the buzzing gets closer. Sure enough, the source of the noise soon comes into view. Dozens of fairies, maybe even as many as 100, flutter past overhead. They form a cloud rushing through the forest, nimbly weaving over and under the branches. When I first saw fairies back in the clearing, their movements were graceful and delicate, but now they're frenetic and urgent. The swarm travels right around us, or right toward us, though they don't seem to notice or care about us at all. The buzzing has grown to an almost ear-splitting level, and I realize it comes from their wings. Like bees, their tiny wings beat rapidly to keep them up. They're a blur against the fairies' snowy-looking bodies. Suddenly, several of the fairies split off from the rest and dive towards us. I fling up my hands to protect myself, but they come to a halt overhead. This is my first chance to get a good look at them. I still can't really see them. Oh, they're cute, though. Oh, they're cute. They're cute. Cute confirmed. Their bodies are smooth and pale with a whitish tinge. Their eyes are beady and small, looking more like tiny flecks of obsidian than anything with sight. At first, it looks like they're wearing gowns, but then I realize what looks like clothes are parts of their body. Colorful plumage helps make each fairy distinct from one another. Rather than legs, their bodies taper off into a point, like little ballerinas. Oh, this is one of them this whole time. I was wondering what this was. Like Snowflake, Snow 2 look the same. One of them turns a somersault while another hovers anxiously.
Our queen! Is that you? Have you returned?
Their voices are all identical, squeaky and raspy, yet impressively loud despite their tiny size. It takes a second for me to realize they're addressing me. Oh no.
I'm sorry. I'm not your queen. I'm just an ordinary human.
Rule number 1. If someone thinks you're a queen, you say yes.
A human?
Ordinary? Don't think so.
They crowd in a little bit closer, their fingers grabbing the empty air as if to pick me up and carry me away. I take a step backward with Abigail still holding tight to my arm, but the fairies just creep in even closer. Their wings beat hummingbird fast, distractingly loud.
I promise, I'm just a regular person. You're mistaken if you think I'm your queen.
A mistake? Have you seen her? We've been looking.
We haven't seen her. We haven't seen anything like her.
I have no idea what a fairy queen looks like. How do you know you're not one? But I'm sure I haven't seen anything that fits the description. Come on, Maddie. The Fae just want to simp for you. Yeah, don't deny them. I'm on Duolingo and it's very keen to teach me 11. So it just keeps shouting at me.
How long has she been missing?
It's hard to say. Did you know? Time is a human concept.
Their answers aren't helpful at all. They at least understand my question, which means they have some knowledge of time. It doesn't make a difference, though. The rest of the swarm has moved on, the buzzing fading once again, but they don't seem bothered.
If we see her, I'll be sure to tell her you're looking.
That won't be needed. She surely knows. That's why she's our queen.
The fairies' peculiar way of speaking in turn is almost comical. Since they haven't left us alone yet, I assume they're still expecting or hoping for something. I'm a little afraid to find out what.
Do the three of you have names?
We don't.
Nope.
We have no need. Names are for humans, too.
They all nod in unison. Given how everything else about them seems to be insect-like, I just assumed that they have a hive mind of sorts. That was my thought, too. It would fit with everything else I know about the forest. Because we already heard that they live in a hive, right? They have a hive, they have a queen. They have no names. Clearly they're a hive mind. I'm getting a bit tired of all the different networks and connections. It's silly, but it feels a little like not knowing the password to a friend's Wi-Fi. To help keep them straight in my mind, I give them each a name. The one with the purple flower is Hay, Anon has the blonde hair, and the last one is Frio. Where are you getting these names from, girl? That doesn't help me at all. Beside me, Abigail tugs at my sleeve surreptitiously. She's angled away from the conversation, trying to lead me out of it. They're trying to sell you something. I turn back to the fairies, putting on my best customer service voice.
We have to go now. It was nice to meet you. I hope you're able to find your queen soon.
I don't want to turn my back on them, so I wait for them to say their farewells and leave. But instead, they come in even closer, causing Abigail to gasp.
Don't go! What if you stayed? You could be our queen. You would do. We could make it so. It would be easy.
If the fairies think you're their queen, you say yes. If the fairies want to turn you into their queen, I think you say no. I think that's a no. There's an interesting dynamic of Maddie going from being in control to being an outsider. That's true. She definitely doesn't have control over the situation now, does she? And then the opposite being true for Tara, because she was like, you know, she had Tara to look after her this whole time, but now she's, you know, kind of on her own. What if you stayed forever? Maddie, we should go. They're just gonna bother you for feedbacks since they don't have any. Feet are a human thing. Alarm bells ring in my head. I start to step backwards with Abigail keeping right on me.
There isn't anyone else. Not everyone is suitable, but you are. Let us show you what it'd be like. We can give you a taste. Would that be all right?
Their buzzing and flittering slows as 3 pairs of eyes stare at us. Abigail squeezes my arm. It's a timeshare. We need to leave. I move my mouth to say no, but the way their gaze pierces into me roots me to the spot. The tiny dancers adorned with glitter, like tiny dancers adorned with glitter. Their skin shimmers in the low light flittering through the clouds.
Madison, come on, let's go.
But I can't. Or rather, I don't want to. Not yet.
What if I know something useful, Abigail?
We know lots of things. Secret things, clever things.
Things we only tell our queen.
We can know you, too.
Oh. They're pests. Their buzzing is a little too loud, and their voice is a little too shrill, but...
You don't belong here. We can tell. But wouldn't you like to belong?
They creep a little bit closer in synchronized motion. They're close enough now that I reach out and I could grab one if I wanted, or slap them away. I don't, though. Maybe you should. A place to belong. Could they really offer that?
What exactly?
I can feel Abigail's grip tighten around my coat, but she doesn't say anything. Sensing an opening, the fairies circle dizzyingly around our heads.
The forest doesn't reject you. But it doesn't accept you either. We could change that, though. Whatever it is you want! Whatever you're searching for, if you help us.
Can you make me not dead?
Wouldn't you like that?
With a jolt, I turn to face Abigail. I'm sure she knows what I'm thinking. Whatever I want, there's only one thing. Freedom. Abigail stares back at me for a moment and then presses herself against me. Looking up at the fairies, I nod.
Okay. Just a taste.
Excited, they dive downwards until they're level with my face. Abigail cringes but doesn't let go. As one, the fairies close in, placing their hands on my face like they're checking my temperature. Their hands are frigid, painfully so. It's amplified by the fact that I haven't felt cold in days. My hands jerk upward out of instinct, ready to pry them away, but I don't. Then one of the fairies moves their hands to cover my lips, one covers my ears, and the other covers my eyes. For a split second, I feel like I'm falling through the air. And then it all hits me.
All I see is black. I'm alone. And yet, hundreds of presences flood my consciousness all at once. I can tell they're the fairies, but I don't know how I can tell. I'm bombarded by their awareness like tiny darts, not using words or thoughts or intentions, but just feeling. They're somehow distant, as if behind a wall, but so present. I try to find the semi-familiar presences of Hay, Frio, and Anon, but they're indistinguishable from the rest. There's no individuality, no sense of identity at all. They're just the fairies as a whole.
Yeah, I guess that'd be a little jarring to just be shoved into a hive mind like that.
But I can feel what they're feeling. Panic and anger and hurt all churned together. The feeling of being lost, of not knowing where to go or what to do, but not being able to sit still. Though I can't tie it to any particular memory or event, the feeling hits me so strongly, so undiluted that I think I might cry. I can feel that they've been scared by something, but I don't know what that something is.
Think we're in trouble. The hive mind has ADHD.
Then, at last, I feel a nudge within my mind. The sensation of being noticed. The presence takes me in, welcoming me. It occurs to me that I no longer exist. I try to ask what's going on, but I don't need to. The moment the question forms, the presence with me starts to answer. Images play in my head, ones I've never seen before. They're grainy like an old film. If I try to focus on a particular detail, the whole thing becomes muddy. I can see flames burning away at the forest. The fire is so real that I can almost feel its warmth. But when I start to focus on it, that too vanishes. The presence of the fairies weighs on my mind, an uninvited audience to the next part. I can see a fairy stumbling alone, but something's wrong with it. I realize instantly, I can't feel its presence. Where it should be, there's just a gaping hole, so vast and profound that it hurts by sheer exclusion. It's agonizing. I want to tear my heart out of my chest so I don't have to feel it anymore. The presence of the fairies, the whole nest, tries to reach out after it and fill the hole, but it won't allow itself to be touched. The moonlight overhead, which I crave, falls onto the lone fairy who hastens to escape it. The lone fairy flees, and the rest of us mourn. One word pulses through my head, both a condemnation and reassurance. One word, though I don't know what it means. Moonsick. 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 The vision twists, and I can see a woman. But she isn't a woman. She's also a fairy, but not just. I'm so happy and relieved to see her that I just know she's the fairy queen. I can feel how much she misses the lone fairy. I know, because I miss her too. Desperately. I can see her searching, her hope never fading, until one day, she's gone. The loss is even greater this time. A sick mixture of guilt and shame plagues me, because I don't know where she is. I don't even know how long she's been missing. How could I have not noticed?
So is Evelyn the fairy queen, or did she do something to the fairy queen?
The loneliness is so great that I want to do anything to erase it. Another silhouette flickers, just out of sight, but I can't keep track of it. We all have to watch it together, and then I realize it's me. But just like the fairy queen I saw before, it's also not me. Visions of time pass, months, years, centuries, and throughout all of them, all of the loneliness is gone. It all feels right. I could fix this.
There's the cat to think about too, true. Well, that's true, Geladura could be the fairy queen. But I feel like if it was Geladura, she would just like run back into the forest and be like, hey fairies. Unless the fairies couldn't recognize her or something. But I feel like they'd be able to figure that out, right? Maybe? Maybe? Fairy of frenzied flame? Let's not. The fairies removed their hands from me and I burst back into the real world with a mighty gasp for air.
Madison, are you all right?
The fairies dart back up, away from the furious glare that Abigail gives them. All I can feel now is her hand clutching me, and I put my arm on her shoulder for support. My head spins, and for a second I think I might fall over. The dizzy spell passes soon. Once I'm confident that I'm not going to collapse, I nod.
I'm fine. How long was I out?
It's been 3 years. Abigail's face flickers to a look of confusion. She presses her hand to my forehead.
Out? I didn't think they'd even begun.
What?
I watch the fairies, struggling to comprehend how so much could have happened in an instant like that. There's no way.
We told you, didn't we? We aren't bound by time. Join us and you won't be either. Now that you've seen, and now that you've felt, will you join us?
Eyes wide, Abigail looks up at me. She doesn't have to say anything for me to know she's begging me to decline. I wish she could have felt how warm it was, how nice it was to belong like that. Yet at the same time, it feels like a distant dream now, something detached and fading. I try to remember the sensation, but I can't. It's water slipping through my fingers. It seemed so real, but it wasn't. The inviting Maddie to join their polycule, the gigantic polycule. Hivecule? Polyhive? Polyhive. Be absorbed into the hive mind or stay with cute ghost girlfriend. Tough choice, it's true. But why one cute ghost girlfriend when you could have a million cute fairy girlfriends? It was only a second. I can't sign my life away to the fairies for 1 second of visions, no matter how right it felt, no matter how comfortable. I'm sure that I was just seeing what they wanted me to see. We're also you, yeah. I smile at Abigail and then shake my head, rejecting the fairies. Surely it's fine to turn down a fairy offer.
I'm sorry, but I can't. Thank you for showing me what it would be like, though.
How can we persuade you? We need our queen soon.
Thought time was a human concept.
You could be our only hope.
I know you do. But I'm sorry. That just can't be me.
We hope you'll change your mind. We'll be waiting for you. We'll be waiting for a queen.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pick Ghost Girlfriend. Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna call the fight against Letta and her allies Mikkela's Polycule. Accepted. With that, they turn tail and dart off in the same direction that their swarm had gone. Soon all trace of them is gone, like they'd never even been there.
Madison, are you sure you're all right?
Yeah, I'm sure. It was just a lot. Was that really that fast?
Yes. They touched your face and then a moment later you gasped.
That's insane. It felt like a long time. Like years had passed.
Abigail looks troubled, staring off into the forest where their fairies disappeared.
Fairy magic is strange and beyond me. They're similar to the forest spirit, and yet...
Different, but in a way you can't put into words.
That's right. You certainly did see a lot, didn't you?
Yeah, I guess so. Have you ever met their queen? Or seen what she looks like?
Just once, long ago. She and the forest spirit are both guardians of the forest. Did you see her in your vision?
I think back to what I saw as best as I can remember. The image shifts and shakes in my head, not wanting to be called to mind. More than what she looked like, I just remember how I felt. So happy and relieved to see her.
I did, but I didn't get a clear look at her. I knew who she was, but I don't know if I'd recognize her if I passed her on the street.
About 200 years ago when you died, Abigail? I mean, probably around then, right? But also, I mean, it could be 100 years ago. It could be 50 years ago. We have no idea. If the fairies aren't going to be an accurate recaller of how long ago things happened.
Do you think you could mistake me for her, like they did?
Absolutely not. You're much prettier than she is.
Abigail says it very matter-of-factly, as if she didn't just give me an enormous compliment. And she carries on like it too. Be still, my beating heart.
But to the fairies, I expect it's hard for them to tell the difference between humans. So maybe you looked like her to them.
So the queen was a human.
I wonder how long the queen's been gone. It seems like they'd been coping just fine without her, until something happened to scare them.
Something like what?
Something hot and bright. Something burning. Something that hurt to think about.
I don't know. I think it had to do with fire, maybe? So much of what I saw felt real, but most of it wasn't.
Fire.
Fire bad. Worry creases her face.
What's wrong? Did you remember something?
No, it was just a thought.
Rather than elaborate, she fidgets with her hands. I don't push the subject.
Maybe that's enough fresh air for today. We can head back to the church.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I detect a hint of relief in her voice. For the first time, I lead the way home. At least I hope it's the way. I'm reasonably confident. At my side, Abigail remains quiet and lost in her thoughts. With one hand, she clings limply to my sleeve, trusting my navigation. I don't disturb her, instead concentrating on remembering the path. It's to challenge myself. I'm sure that if necessary, Abigail would be able to lead us home from anywhere. Still, I'm beginning to fear that I've led us astray when the grim walls of the church start to come into view. A mixture of relief and pride flows through me. It's also a little bittersweet. I've come to think of the church as home, even though I've never felt that way about the cabin. Despite the fact that the concept of home is just a formality now, surrounding ourselves with walls and a roof doesn't change a whole lot. Clouds are beginning to settle overhead, muting the daylight and making everything murky. It feels fitting for the mood. Abigail speeds up a bit as we reach the doors, and she's the first one inside. She sits down on one of the benches, fatigued.
Mind if I join you?
I gesture at the open spot behind her. This seat taken.
Please do.
Aww. I wonder whose job it was to just draw all these snowy blank forests. Yeah. There are a couple.
Headache still?
She nods.
I'm afraid so. Our encounter there sure didn't help.
I'm sure.
It gave me a headache of sorts too, more a notion that I can't get out of my head. The fairies' outstanding offer sits with me. As hard as I try, I can't fully push the idea away. If there isn't any other way out of this, then maybe being a fairy queen would be preferable to just being a normal ghost. As long as I could still have Abigail with me. Oh yeah, those famous hive mind queen consorts. That's a last resort though, because for as long as I can, I have to hold out hope that things can just go back to normal. That Tara and I can leave Eisenfeld the same way we arrived. And that we can take Abigail with us. Beside me, Abigail shifts her head just a little.
I'm sorry. Am I bothering you like this?
Not at all.
I wonder if she's close enough to hear my heart beating. Does your heart beat? Maybe it can't always be like this, but for just now, it's all right. Although it's been a couple days since we met the fairies and they made their offer, I haven't been able to get it out of my head. The visions themselves are just slush by now, with the memories of them having eroded into non-existence. But the feelings remain. The feelings of belonging and of freedom. There's something else I can't get out of my head, though, and she's sitting right beside me.
Madison, here they come.
Sure enough, a mother deer and her fawn come traipsing out of the bushes, no doubt on their way to get a drink. Starlight and the waxing moon make them look like ghosts at first, barely visible in the dusk. Upon entering the clearing, they see us and both freeze. Abigail smiles encouragingly, reaching out a hand towards them. After a moment's hesitation, the fawn takes one tentative step toward us, then another and another.
This one's name is Alma.
Sure.
Hello, Alma.
I greet it the same way I would greet my friend's dog or cat. Deciding we're not a threat, the mother deer goes to the pond while the baby one creeps even closer. Abigail never moves towards it, never pushing too far. Then it nuzzles her hand, leaning into the soft scratching motion of her fingers.
Is this the deer that was watching you sing the other day?
Most likely. Alma's a little bit shy and sometimes prefers to keep her space.
You know this deer pretty well, huh?
Of course, we're very good friends.
To demonstrate, she strokes Alma's tawny neck. She doesn't even have to sit up to do so, since the fawn's face is just about level with her shoulders from where she's sitting on the ground. Alma closes her eyes, clearly enjoying the attention. Can they feel it?
Would you like to pet her? I'm certain she'd let you.
Sure.
I lean forward, my hand outstretched like Abigail's was. But the second I move, Alma's eyes go wide and she bounds away into the darkness. Her mother watches, alarmed from the shoreline.
Guess not.
Alma, come back. I promise Madison won't hurt you. She's just as sweet as you are.
I'm glad for the darkness and that she can't see me blush. While she's not looking, I scoot a little bit closer to Abigail. Just a bit. Just a little coy. Coy scooch. The hanging fairy baubles help to illuminate the young deer, who watch from a safe distance. None of the fairies themselves seem to be around, though. It takes a bit, with Abigail and I both sitting silently, but the fawn chooses to come back after all. Her steps are still reluctant and ready to dart away at any second. She lets Abigail pet her, but watches me warily while it happens. I don't mind. I'm just content to watch and enjoy seeing how happy it makes them both.
How long have you known Alma? It must have been a while for her to trust you like this.
Oh yes, I've known her for her whole life. And I've known her mother since she was small too.
Abigail waves at the mother deer by the pond, who's returned to sating her thirst.
That's amazing.
I can only imagine the patience, time, and dedication it must have taken to earn the trust of the woodland creatures. Still, all things considered, I'm not surprised that they'd make an exception for someone like Abigail. She exudes comfort. I'm not sure how else to describe it, and I've certainly never felt anything like it before. Maybe being close to her is just as comforting for the deer as it is for me.
Do you have any other animal friends that I'll get to meet?
Oh, certainly, if you'd like. I'm sure Mr. Bearer is asleep for the season, but perhaps once he wakes up. There are also a pack of wolves around, but for Alma's sake, that would be best left to another time.
The deer nuzzles her hand in agreement, and Abigail coos contentedly at it.
None are quite so friendly as Alma and the rest of the deer, though. When I was a child, I wanted to have a deer for a pet. I thought that perhaps I could learn to ride one, like a horse. My sister and I would look for footprints in the snow and track them for as long as we could.
More shinies, shiny shinies, thank you. She looks up at me, smiling smiling despite the melancholy tone her voice has taken on.
We never got very far, of course. Hardly a few feet into the forest. But to children like us, it was quite an adventure.
Only 5 days left. Oh, if it hits the time, I've been re-upping it if it hits the time, so don't worry about that. But yes.
You must miss her a lot.
Abigail hardly ever mentions her family because they're plot important. I imagine that despite how long it's been, their memories must still be painful. She smiles thinly.
In a sense.
The deer is still luxuriating under her caress. Her hand moves rhythmically and gently, alternating between petting and scratching Alma's neck. She relaxes a little, resting against my side, but continuing to pet the deer.
More than anything, I think I miss the days of wonder and awe, back when the forest and all of its creatures were still a mystery.
My sister Shabriri was awful. Yeah!
Sometimes I wish it could be like that again. That it could be unknown.
You wish that you hadn't met them?
No, not at all. At least, not given the circumstances. I'm quite grateful for the companionship they've given me. For so many years, they've been one of the few sources of company that I've had. But while my love for them has never diminished, I've come to the conclusion that it's grown to the most it can grow as well. That's simply what the world had become for me. A small world of knowns, and nothing more.
She looks away from the deer and back at me. A few tears spot her face, but she doesn't look sad. In fact, she's beaming.
And then I met you, Madison.
Moonlight frames her face. The lovely night sky, the fairy tale friendly deer, the ethereal woman, it's an image straight out of a painting.
You were my first unknown in countless years. The first soul I could speak with that I didn't yet understand. And what a wonderful unknown you turned out to be.
I'm frozen again. I've never had anyone say anything that sweet to me. How am I supposed to respond to something like that? I try to calm my heart as it hammers in my chest. Looking at her soft expression only serves to accelerate its rhythm.
Thank you. That's really, really sweet. I think you're wonderful too.
Her free hand darts out to grab mine before I have a chance to react as her eyes widen even more, nearly startling the deer away.
Do you really mean that, Madison?
I really do. You're an incredible person. I can't imagine having to go through what you've been through without losing any sort of capacity for joy. But here you are, still so full of energy and positivity. I hope that I can maintain that sort of optimism.
Aww. Abigail lets go of the deer and flings her arms around me in a tight hug. It's a pretty awkward position because of how we're sitting together, but I don't mind. I hug her back as best I can, my only anchor in the storm of chaos that my life has become. Indignant, Alma slicks her ears back and darts off toward the trees again. Without letting go, Abigail cranes her neck to watch, this time not calling the deer back. Alma's mother bounds to join her daughter, and they both go careening off. I lean my head down to rest against Abigail in what's become a familiar position. When did we get so comfortable with each other? Being like this just feels natural. She parts from me after a moment, sitting up straight again. She tilts her head up to look at the stars, and I gaze with her. The night is mostly clear except for a few wispy clouds. All is still and quiet and calm. Even pains of the forest don't seem to reach us here.
I wouldn't call myself an optimist.
I blink, surprised by her sudden words.
I don't, nor have I ever really had much hope. There are small comforts and delights, but those aren't the same thing as hope. I can remember names and faces, and even dreams and aspirations that I once had. But do you know what the most curious part of it is?
She glances at me and I notice tears in her eyes. Without thinking, I reach up to brush them away. No reaction. My heart pounds in my chest, nervous about something I can't identify. Or that maybe I'm unwilling to accept, afraid to be wrong about.
What is it?
I can't remember how it felt for those dreams to be within reach. Even with my meager, lonely existence, there was still a chance. As unlikely as it would have been, there was always a possibility that someday something would change. Something might happen. There was a light, so to speak, to look forward to. And the day that I died, that light went out.
More tears, replacing the ones that I wiped away, sparkle in her eyes. I move to repeat the motion from before, but this time she softs my hands, holding them in her own between us.
I never gave thought to what this unlife might be keeping me from. Not from the life I left behind, but whatever it is I would have been met with had I lived to the end of my days. For a long time, I considered myself lucky that I was free from hurt and pain and worry and loss. Even if they were predictable and boring, my years here in the forest haven't been unpleasant. But I've never been optimistic. I've never had anything to look forward to. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine meeting someone as perfect as you. Never did I imagine that I would be happy again.
I understand. I know what she's saying, and more importantly, what she means. A shiver runs down my spine.
But Madison, I don't deserve this happiness. Not at the cost of your own. I keep thinking how if I'd been a bit faster, or more decisive, perhaps I could have saved you that day in the snow. And that even if not, I don't know what future I've stolen from you. I don't know what awaits those of us who pass on. All I know is this unlife and its permanence, and the way that you deserved better.
She's crying now, fully. Her chest heaves into a sob and I pull her closer to me in as tight as I can manage. As kindly and delicately as I can, as gently as she always treats me, I hold her and sway gently, as much as our position will allow. I can tell just from the way she cries that she's been holding this in for a long, long time. Kinda cursed? I mean, yeah. I let her let it all out. Must have hurt so bad to be feeling this way. I speak in a whisper. They sit together.
It's not your fault at all. Don't ever blame yourself for any of this. I know I don't. Ever since we met, that day in the forest clearing, all you've done is made things better for me. I don't know if I ever told you this, but during those first days after we met, seeing you again was all that I would look forward to. I'd go to bed thinking about you, and wake up the next morning thinking about you. And as for everything else, to be honest, I don't know how to feel about a lot of it. So much of it is just hard to process. I thought that it would get easier with time, but it hasn't. But there is one thing I know. One thing that I'm absolutely sure of.
I squeeze her hands and I see her startle just a bit. What? Okay. No matter what I'm missing out on, I'm sure I'd rather be here with you. I mean it, every word of it. I've never really put too much thought into an afterlife or anything like that, but any time I've spent here with Abigail is time well spent. And if that means eternity, then, well, so be it. Beside me, Abigail gazes into my eyes wondrously. Her lips move Her lips move as she searches for the word she wants me to say.
Madison.
She shifts so that the starlight caresses her face, perfect and yet not nearly as luminous as she is.
May I kiss you?
For once in my life, I don't overthink it.
Yes.
Her eyelids flutter and close. Her breathing trembles, then steadies. I empty my head of any other thoughts. And I press my lips to hers. So soft and so warm, as delicate as the fresh fallen snow, as sweet as cotton candy. Her form shivers against me and I place an arm around her for support and for comfort, mutually. I can feel her getting more confident and more relaxed as 200 years of loneliness are melted away one by one, and we're left as just two souls sharing a first kiss under the night sky. It feels so right, that after we've both been through so much sadness and loss, that now we're able to share this moment of joy. Not just share it, but to be able to offer it to each other. It's our light at the end of the tunnel. Aww. When we finally part, my lips feel electrified. She regards me with a coy expression, but a happy one.
That was even more wonderful than the many times I had imagined it.
I hope it was worth the wait.
I'd wait another 200 years if it was the only way I'd get to kiss you again.
Oh,
I promise. You won't have to.
To prove it, I lean forward and give her another quick peck on the lips. Abigail leans against my side yet again. We've done this several times before, but it's never felt like this. It never felt this right. Everything feels a bit brighter now. Okay, I was waiting for a perspective change, but I think we're gonna stop here. Also, these chapters have names that is not telling us, I guess. But yes, I think we're gonna call that a stop to break at. It's cute. It's feelings, hooray, feelings. Who's got the feelings? Abigail has got a lot of riz for a dead girl. It's true. 200 years of practice. That's what that'll do for you. Yes, cool. So we're obviously going to keep going on this. I have literally no clue how long it goes, but I mean, things are happening, right? This is moving along. I think it's going at a good clip, so I don't feel bad about staying with it for a bit. It's cute. I hope they end up okay. We're gonna do our best, huh? These choices are sure concerning, aren't they? We're gonna do our best. I'm gonna do my best for a happy ending here. I want them all to end up alive and out of the town. I don't know how possible it is. I don't know how possible the perfect happy ending that they want is gonna be, if it's even an option. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. So thanks for hanging out with me for some cozy queer story time. It's gonna be hard at this point, given that two of them are dead. I mean, they're still determined. At least the living ones are. I think there's a chance. Kind of 2-0 down on that, yeah. But I mean, we're dealing with like fairies and shit. Anything can happen. They're not fully dead. Abigail has been very clear on saying that they aren't fully dead. They're just mostly dead. And we know all about mostly dead, don't we? True love's kiss. We got plenty of that. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. At the very least, we can defeat Evelyn, right? Today's episode is brought to you by ice. That thing coating all of our hearts that is quickly melting. But also by you clicking on the buttons and hanging out and being with me as we go through cozy story time together. Join the Discord, leave a comment, click a button. That's the snowy field that I am cursed to for eternity on. So I appreciate you all being here and helping me out in that regard. So come by on Monday and Thursday and probably Saturday of next week, and we're going to continue from right here. And we're going to keep going until we're done. So thanks for being around. Have a good rest of your weekend. And don't forget to